Hey guys.
Hey, everybody. Nice to see you, Bobo, Tim, Robert, Sam, Kevin's. Hello, 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 and Christopher. Hello to you as well. Mark, go ahead and turn your camera off until we get started. Get back in your cage.
Wow, you don't like the way I look?
I stopped it for you, Mark. We keep Mark in a cage until we start these. Guys, what are you interested in today? We can cover so much ground at this session. Mark is so good at looking at all financial markets. Tell me what you're interested in. Hello, hello. Patricia. Entries, intraday. Ooh, intraday. Oh, you want a day trade, huh, Brad? We can talk about that. How to make $1 million a day? You want to make $365 million a year? All right, stick around to the end and we can talk about that. But you got to stick around to the end. Learning good entry points to get into stocks that you're going to get it. Options, you're going to get it. Options, yes, Hans. We'll talk about options. How are we doing? Give me a 1 if you're a smiley face today. Give me a 2 if you're a little medium meh face. Give me a 3 if you're a frown face today. Doing fine. Good to hear. Good to hear. Good to see a lot of 1s. Brad, we'll send you a recording. Don't you worry. As long as there's no internet disruption. So what happens sometimes is there's just an internet disruption. And then sometimes we lose the recording on Zoom. So just make sure you pay attention while you got it. But we will get that recording to you as long as it is working. Hey, Shen, Oliver. You guys all have like 3-word names in here. Did we require you guys to give us 3 names to get into this webinar? How to trade earnings with options. That's a really good one. Hey, John Axe, I see you over on YouTube. So we are streaming on Zoom for our registered users, viewers, audience. And we are on YouTube for, the YouTube crowd. As always, Zoom viewers get priority in chat because they pre-registered for the event. They'll also get the recording. Is this the beginning of a bigger market sell-off? Really good question. Really good question. Mark will have things to say about that very question, Gregory. Stocks are really down. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. Yep. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? How to trade earnings, back testing, or trading. Hi, John X. Guys, tell me what you think. Give me a 1 if a sell-off is a bad thing. Give me a 2 if a sell-off is a good thing. Let me know what you think in the chat. Ooh, yeah, divisive. Polarizing question. Very polarizing. Sell-off is Rick, I like that answer. Did you do like 2 to the second power? Did you do 2 squared, Joseph? How'd you do that? John X, I registered, but I couldn't find the link. Check your inbox. Check your inbox, John. We'll get started in just a few minutes. We want to wait for some folks to trickle in. We had quite a large RSVP list for this one. Robert's excited about the volatility. Robert, were you the intraday guy? Brad, be careful with that one. You got to know when the dip is going to stop if you're going to buy the dip. Sometimes when you buy the dip keeps dipping. Oh, if you hold down the 2, are you using Mac? Hey, Raphael, you're in the right place. YouTube also a little bit divided. A little bit divided here. Trader 1-Up's giving us a 2. Alan McCombs giving us a 1. No, Alan, that's not how he did it. He actually had like a literal 2 floating above his 2. He's very adamant. Never catch a falling knife, Hans says, unless you have metal gloves. I would say most of the time, don't catch a falling knife. Don't try to do that. But falling knives eventually stop. There's background music. Yes, this is normal. I'm from Munchen. Welcome, Hans. Yeah, it's normal for there to be music in the background. Right now, you should see a pretty static image with like some moving stuff in the background. You're in the right place. We'll get started in just a few minutes. I'm your host, Neil. Christian from Thailand. Hey. Yeah, if the knife is made out of solid gold, I will reach out with my bare hands and I'll catch it. All right, let's give it about 3 more minutes here. 3-4 minutes. Everyone chillax, listen to the tunes. Put a smile on your face because we are about to show you how to become a better trader. And remember, traders love volatility. And boy, oh boy, is this a volatile time in the market. Shelly. Rob Williams, we got you. We got you. All right. Don't you worry. Let me see how much. I had a little timer set up, but it disappeared. Oh, there it is. All right. Look at the timer. Now you can see it. YouTube, you got to wait a second. John, welcome. Shin from Paris. You want to learn about options and understand the basics, functions, and all that kind of stuff? We can talk about that. We'll start with the lesson, then we'll open it up for Q&A, all right? Alejandro from Indianapolis, welcome. Oshawa, Toronto. Is now the time to buy, and what should I buy? Ty, really good questions. We're not going to tell you what to do. We're going to tell you how to do it. All right. We don't want you to be in a position where you're asking that question the way you are right now. We want you to be able to tell other people. All right. Ty, how does it sound? Would you rather let me know? Let me know in chat. Would you give me a 1 if you want to be the guy that's asking people what should I buy? Give me a 2 if you want to be the guy, gal, or person that's telling others what you're buying, because you already know. That's what I like to see. 2s. All right. That's what we're trying to get you to. And trust me, it doesn't have to be complicated. It does not have to be complicated. All right. We're going to get started about 43 seconds here. I'm going to grab some caffeine. You guys just chill. Maybe heat up a coffee, because you're going to want to pay attention to this. I'm calling. I think it might be time to start. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Yes, you're supposed to be seeing that still kind of static image. Tell me, take a look at that image and let me know what that might mean to you. What do you think that image is symbolizing? Yes, the text is obvious. Become a better trader. But what's going on in that image? Why do you think we did that? Why is there more than one person there? Boom, Christopher's got it. So who is this? Brad just said buying the dips. Yeah, dude. The second to last guy on the left is just reaching out for a dip. And the guy in the bottom is just he's a falling knife. He's like, grab me. Lending a helping hand, make the dream work, collaborate, helping each other navigate trading. Teamwork makes the dream work. Team, pull each other up. That's exactly it. Teamwork, all caps. All right. That's what this is about. Teamwork. And men can hold hands. That's fine, RD. When you're making money, put a smile on your face. Pull your brother up. Pull your brother and sister up. Trading by yourself in a vacuum is so old school. All right. That's like some 2000.com bubble stuff. All right. We're not doing that anymore. We're not sitting alone. Yes, that's right, Keith. Avoid stupid mistakes, uplift each other, and grow. It's a lot easier together. All right. We're not going to be in the basement and sitting next to one of those green banker lamps with the lights all dim by ourselves, scouring forums, trying to figure out how to make some money in this market. No. That's not how we're doing it. So to get to that point, you need a solid foundation. If you're going to trade together and trade as a team, you all need to be speaking the same language. And that's what this session is about, is to take you from point A, which is kind of beginner, kind of the market seemed kind of chaotic, to point B. I see what's going on. I have a good idea of what my move is based on what's coming in. I'm going to confirm with my team, with my peers. That's what it's about. All right, guys. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get this educational session going. You should still see a static image with like some numbers and stuff moving around in the background. But I want to bring on Mark Putrino. Mark, are you able to turn your camera and microphone on? We'll just give Mark a second. Oh. While Mark's getting ready, why don't you guys let me know what stocks you're interested in or cryptocurrencies? Drop it in the chat. Hey, Mark. Yeah. I see you. Right. Welcome to the party. All right, Mark, I think you want to check on your microphone too. Mark, can you say something, please? All right, Mark, I can hear you. What's going on? Good. What's going on, brother?
Doing all right now.
Oh, man.
I can hear you. You're laughing.
Yeah. I know that you have like 3 cameras and 3 microphones hooked up to your computer, so it could be a pain in the butt.
I thought maybe I had like BO or something, but then I realized you can't smell me through a camera. So
that's not it. That's not it this time, Mark.
That's not it. Okay.
All right. So Mark, we've got a bunch of people here that are ready to advance from a mind state of not really knowing what's going on and kind of looking for answers, and getting to the point where they're able to be the provider of answers. So I would love for you to introduce yourself and let them know what this lesson is going to be about.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm Mark, and I am the head instructor for the Benzinga Trading School. I appreciate you spending some time with us, and I just want to talk to you a little bit about the school and the class and our philosophy and so forth. I think what makes this class different than other classes is essentially two things. All right. One is a lot of the traders that you see teaching these trading school classes really don't have that much experience. Um, they've only seen a bull market over the last 10 years. They don't really know what goes on in the institutional hedge fund world. But I do. I spent about 20 years in the institutional hedge fund world or institutional money management world. Um, I had my first trading job at Gabelli, working for Mario Gabelli. He hired me after I met him when I was in business school. I also spent some time trading with Stevie Cohen at SAC, who the show Billions is supposedly based on. Then I was the head trader at three different asset managers, which all managed over $1 billion. And when I say institutional, we're managing institutional money, for instance, pension plans, endowments. So big money, billions of dollars. The trading that I did was often, hundreds of thousands of shares or millions of shares. So over the years, I have developed what I like to think is a pretty good competency of reading charts and understanding what's going on in the markets. And I think the key is that it doesn't really need to be complicated. Wall Street tries to make stuff seem overly complicated so they can charge fees. Some people think it's overly complicated because they just don't know enough about it. So I have a system that's based on common sense, logic, and it's not my system. What I want to teach you is fundamentals about the market so you can come up with your own systems and things that work for you. So that's the first thing I think that differentiates this class from other people, is just that I've been around the block more times than I care to remember, and I have a lot of experience in a lot of different styles. The second thing is that we look at the markets in actual time. Anyone could write a book and say, oh, in October of 2018, this was a perfect flag pattern, and so forth and so on. What I want to do with this class is we're going to teach the fundamentals, and that's going to be reoccurring. All right. What are fundamentals? Well, understanding what's an important level, understanding what's an important momentum, understanding what's an important trend. So the lessons will repeat, and we're going to go over that and hammer it into you so it becomes second nature, and you could think about this stuff. It'll come out subconsciously, almost like muscle memory. But what we're going to do is apply the lessons to the market in real time. In other words, this morning, our lesson was all about the importance of particular levels. And we saw that this morning before the market opened, we were talking about how there was a good chance there was going to be some weakness today because the financial sector, which has been driving the market over the last few days up before today, was overbought, and it hit a important resistance level. So when markets are overbought and they hit resistance, they tend to sell off. So today, I'm not like waving a victory flag or taking a victory lap or anything like that, because this is an ongoing thing. And the second that you lose your humility in the market is the second that you get destroyed. But I'm just trying to emphasize that just by focusing on common sense, the supply and demand dynamics, what is support levels? What are resistance levels? What is momentum? Just by concentrating on these basic fundamentals, we can develop profitable trading strategies. And to be perfectly frank, in the institutional world where I was for 2 decades, people aren't really talking about these. There's no super secret mythical system that always works. It's understanding the basics, and it's understanding risk management, and it's understanding investor psychology that is the key to success. And you have to use a system that fits you. Some people might be day traders. Some people might be swing traders, meaning they take positions for a few days or a week. Some people want to do buy and hold. Some people want to just trade ETFs. Some people trade options. Some people trade cryptos. The fundamentals of how the financial markets work, having an understanding of that will help you in any one of these styles. I'm going to share my screen.
Hey, really quick, Mark, while you're getting your screen set up, thank you guys. I see a few of you guys attended some of our previous lessons. Christopher, thank you for the kind words. And Ezra says, let's do some learning, all caps. Really excited. I think this is going to be really good. So definitely pay attention, guys.
All right. So can you see my screen here?
Yes, sir.
All right. My pledge to you. So I like to tell the story because it had an impact on me going back now, 25 or so years when I first started working for Mario Gabelli. There was a money manager there by the name of Howard Ward, who was a super nice guy, super brilliant guy, had phenomenal returns. Anyway, he had on his wall a framed letter that someone wrote him saying, dear Mr. Ward, blah, 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 I've invested money with you. Your returns were able to help me pay for my kids to go to college, so forth and so on. So Howard had that there every day just because, of course, he came to work in a $150,000 Porsche and he lived on a big estate. But every day he would see that letter and say, this is not about me. This is about you. I am managing money for other people. You have trusted me with your money. So that kind of had an impact on me. And I know it sounds a little bit corny, but I take it very seriously. I know that I know a lot of you have a lot of questions and you've probably gotten a lot of bad answers, taken various courses along the way. But I just want you to understand that I'm always going to be conscious of the fact that you are putting your trust in me. And I'm not perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. When I do, I will admit it. But again, for myself and Neil and the rest of the Benzinga people, we just want to thank you for your trust and your support, and you're giving us a chance. So this is just a little something about the class, which I've kind of alluded to already. Most classes are taught by someone who's read a few books. They've had a couple lucky trades. They think they're an expert. I'm someone who has had a lot of real life, real world institutional trading experience. And as a head trader, I've overseen, you can't probably name a strategy that I haven't overseen, whether it's high frequency or deep value, in, technical trading, swing trading. As the head of trading, as opposed to just being a trader, I had to oversee all the traders that were implementing these strategies. And again, there's no perfect fit there's no one size fits all thing. And I'm not going to teach you like my secret system that's going to make you money. What I want to teach you to do is to have the fundamentals and the understanding that will allow you to make your own strategies and whatever fits your eye, that works best for you. Like, for instance, you might look at a chart of a stock and see something I don't see. So there's a chance where you could be able to teach me. I'm not, I know I make mistakes and I'm humble and I try to keep an open mind. So I want to do what is helpful for you. There's no one right style. It just has to fit your personality. So these are just a bunch of the different strategies, long-term value and growth. These are people that buy stocks and hold on to them for a long time. That's like your traditional style, but this class will still help you. For example, say you want to buy a stock and you want to hold on to it for 10 years. Say it's XYZ Corp. And you say to yourself, XYZ Corp is at 20. Now, I really like this stock, but I think it's a little bit overpriced. If it gets to 10, I'm going to buy it. So you put in your order with your broker, buy it if it gets to 10. There's a good chance, there is a chance in this theoretical example that there is a lot of support at, say, $11. Support is a large concentration of buyers. So there's a good chance you could have been right about XYZ. It could have gone to 20, sold off, but it never got to your level at 10 because there was a lot of support at 11. Those buyers bought the stock, and then the thing went up to 20 and 10 to 30 and so forth. And you missed out on a big profit because you didn't have a simple understanding of where the support level was. If you knew there was support around 11, you could have placed your order at, say, 11.25 or 11.50. Yeah, it's not as low as buying it at 10, but you wouldn't have missed it. Then if the stock goes to 20 and then to 30 and higher potentially, you would have made a lot of money. So I've seen more times than I can even remember. And I would imagine, and Neil and I get this feedback from a lot of our students, is people miss out on big profits because they just try to get too cute. They try to mastermind it. That's like one of the Wall Street expressions that traders used to use. It's like, hey, don't try to mastermind it, just try to buy it. Don't try to, if I tell you, hey, buy it here, it's at 70, don't wait for it to get to $69.50. Just go ahead and buy it. So by understanding what levels are important, what trends are important, and what the momentum is, it's going to be able to benefit any style. And as a matter of fact, it can even become a style in and of itself. If a stock is oversold and it gets to support, that's one of the market principles I teach. I have 10 market principles, which I've came up with. But one of them is that oversold stocks, and oversold refers to momentum. It means the stock has been really beaten down. It's trading below what would be its typical trading range. So oversold stocks that get to support tend to rally. Overbought stocks that get to resistance tend to sell off. All right. So those are just basic principles that we can use to generate good trades. And now you'll notice I'm not saying anything that you don't understand. We're not talking about harmonic charts or astrology or mysticism or tea reading or whatever. We are talking about supply and demand. If you can understand supply and demand, you can understand how to make money in the market. All right. If there's a lack of supply, the price goes up. If there's too much supply, the price goes down, vice versa with demand. So a lot of investors think that there's this proverbial holy grail, like this secret formula that works. Like, Steve Cohen was, on an archaeological dig, and he uncovered some secret formula on a scroll. That's the secret to his success. That is not true. All right. It just doesn't work that way. As someone who has worked with some of the top money managers in the industry, I can tell you wholeheartedly with 100% confidence, there is no secret formula. If there was a secret formula, it would have been figured out by now. 4 years ago, all these artificial intelligence funds were, the really hot thing. AI was everywhere, AI this, AI that, because these massively sophisticated computational systems would look through the market and look for thousands of parameters and try to figure out what is the best call or the best way to come up with the signal. And a lot of these funds that were so hot 3 or 4 years ago have actually failed. Some of them have gone out of business. Some of them, that are still around have really bad performance. The best human traders can still outperform the most sophisticated quantitative strategies. And that's what we do here. You would traditionally call it, like, say, tape reading. Like when I worked for Stevie Cohen years ago, you would have called him a tape reader. In other words, he doesn't have 100% style that's set in stone. He follows the fundamentals and he has his basic principles, but he retains the flexibility to say, all right, well, this stock is oversold, or this commodity is breaking out, or this thing is mispriced. The great managers are the ones that have the flexibility to stick to their fundamentals, but change their styles a little bit as the market evolves. You always have to stick to your fundamentals, but if you have the fundamentals down, it will allow you to evolve through using different things. Now, I'm not talking about a massive change in strategies. You might be trading a particular stock and you might get really good signals off a moving average crossover system, and that could be profitable for a year, maybe. Let's call it a year. Now, all of a sudden, the thing starts trading sideways. And in sideways markets, moving average systems don't really work as well as they do when markets are trending higher or trending lower. So at that point, you might be able to say, all right, well, this trend is over. This moving average system kind of isn't working anymore. But now we're going to look at some momentum oscillators, because in a sideways market, meaning a stock doesn't really go up or down, it just spends the days trading in a tight range. On those types of stocks and sideways markets, momentum oscillators would be more effective than a moving average, right? So the point is this: you're not guessing. When the moving average system is working, that's what you're using. When it ceases to work and the market changes a little bit, and now an oscillator system or a momentum system starts to work better, you want to have the flexibility to change. I've seen a lot of hedge fund managers or a lot of money managers that, yeah, I mean, what's the word? Like a one hit wonder or one trick pony kind of a thing. Like, for instance, I used to work for a guy who, I won't mention his name. It wasn't Steve Cohen or Barry Capelli. It was a different guy who wasn't, let's just say he wasn't a very nice man, but he made a really big, he had really good returns, made a big killing because he invested a lot in retail stocks, you know, like Walmart or Home Depot, retailers or stores that sell things. So anyway, because this particular individual was in the right sector at the right time, he did really good. But when retail stopped performing as well, he never was able to make the change to a different methodology or a different area. So he ended up losing a lot of money in the long run. So point is there a holy grail? No, there's no secret system or formula that works. The holy grail is understanding investment psychology and risk management. And that all ties in with what we're doing here. Trading systems help investment psychology, because investment psychology is something you need to be aware about, because when people get afraid and people get emotional, they make mistakes. All right. The biggest reason for failure on Wall Street and trading is that people just guess. They don't have a system. If you have a system that has parameters that say, all right, well, I'm going to buy a stock, but only if parameters 1, 2, and 3 are met. Parameter 1 might be it's oversold. Parameter 2 might be it's at a support level. And parameter 3, you could add in even a fundamental. The price earnings ratio is below a certain level. So by having this set of parameters, it takes the guesswork out of it. You let the market tell you what to do. If you try to outguess the market, you will lose. All right, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's been happening ever since the market has been around. What you have to do is sit back and let the market tell you what to do. And that's what our class is all about. Should we look at some charts now?
Yes, sir. Let's get to the charts, guys. Now we're going to get into the meat of this presentation. Let me know, Mark, make sure you're watching that chat there on Zoom, so that you can see if folks have questions about what you are talking about. Let's make this session as interactive as possible.
Okay. I don't see the chat though.
Go to the bottom of your Zoom screen and click the icon that says chat.
Well, look at that. Neil is right.
Look at them. They're all there. There's so many of them. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah. They've got some real personality. I can tell you that right now. Don't you guys? You guys have some real personality, don't you? All right, Mark. So you can see them. Now, Mark, we're going to talk about how to make money in the markets. All right. To stop being the person that's asking for answers from everyone else, but to become the person that's got the answers. All right, Mark, show us how to do it.
All right. Well, today is actually a particularly good day to have this class, because one of the things we really want to focus on is important levels, right? Like I'm going to say it again and again and again. Certain price levels are more important than others. Now, this chart I have up here is Apple. All right. This action in Apple today is kind of alarming, and it could portend the market continuing to sell off. And let me explain why this level is important. This black line is the $143 level. Okay. Last January, at the very end of January, the stock got all the way up there, and it was resistance. There was more sellers than there were buyers, or more stock for sale than there was demand for it, and that knocked the stock down. So a lot of the people that sold at this level thought they made a good call when the stock went down. All right. A guru, I sold it at 143. Now it's at 120. Now it's at 135. Now here's what happens when the stock goes higher. All right. A lot of the people that sold back here experience seller's remorse. They thought they made the right call when the stock went down, but now that it's higher, a lot of them start to think, gee, maybe I made a mistake. I shouldn't have sold it. I'll tell you what, I'm going to buy Apple back, but I'm only going to buy it back if I can get it for the same price that I sold it at. So as a result, they placed their buy orders at the same price they sold at. They sold around 143. Now they're going to place their buy orders around 143. If there's enough of these buy orders, it causes support to form. Support is a large concentration of buyers. At a support level, there's more demand for the stock than there is supply. So when stocks reach support levels, they stop going down. So we can see how this 143 level, which was resistance, became support. But let's look at today. Today could be a sign of more selling to come, because and now there's always, this isn't an exact science. If it was, the AI guys would have figured it out, like I just spoke about. So it might take a day or two, or maybe not even. Maybe we'll know tomorrow morning before the market opens on how Apple's acting. But this important support level is broken. And because Apple is one of the biggest weighted stocks in the market, this is obviously a very important thing to watch. So right now, Apple is trading, or it closed right around the same levels that it was at in early July. So the point of showing this is I want my students to see that there are certain price levels that are more important than others. Why is it 143 and not 144 or 145 or 146? I have no idea. Sometimes it's obvious why a price level is important. It could be $100 is a nice round level, or $50. There could be fundamental things, like, for instance, the oil is way above it now, but I know for a big part of the Middle East, oil needs to be around $48 a barrel or higher in order for those companies to profit and balance their budgets. So like when oil sells off down to around 48 or 49, you always see like support there, because there's probably a lot of people with vested interest in the Middle East that don't want to see oil go any lower. So that's a situation where there's a fundamental reason why a particular level is important. All right. So anyway, so this is Apple, and now we have seen that resistance becomes support, and we have seen that this level could be breaking. So next question. All right, Mark, Apple is going down. Well, where does the sell-off end? What did we just say? Resistance could become support. Let's look at this 137 level. It was resistance here. It was resistance here. This means there's a good chance that's their support here. Now, remember, a lot of the people that sold here thought they made the right move when it went lower. A lot of the people that sold here thought they made the right move when it went lower. But when Apple goes higher, a lot of the sellers say, I made a mistake. I'm going to buy the stock back, but only if I can buy it at the same price I sold it at. So they place their buy orders, or I assume they're going to be placing their buy orders around 137. So that means there is a good chance if Apple continues to go lower, it finds some support around 137. Why? Certain price levels are more important than others. For some reason, and we don't know why, but we don't need to know why, right? Do you really know how electricity works? No. But if you turn the light switch, you know the light's going to come on. I mean, maybe you know how electricity works. You might be an electrical engineer or something, but I don't know how it works. But anyway, for whatever reason, the 143 level and the 137 level have been important for Apple, and they probably will continue to be. Interesting thing about Apple here, and this is never a good sign, if we just look at today's action. Now, this is a candlestick chart. I always pretty much
Mark,
always, yeah.
Mark, let me slow you down real quick. Let's take a look at the chat. So we've got Candace has a really good question. And before that gets moved up too much, Candace, Kennedy. Everyone's got 3 names today.
Can you, I still don't see the chat, Neil. I see.
Don't worry about it. I'll help you.
Bolt, the Zoom virtual assistant, is talking to me.
I need to look at your computer.
Okay.
All right. So, what's the red line, Mark?
On this particular chart?
Yeah, let's take it back a step. Tell us what that red line is.
All right, this red line is just to show that. All right, let me get rid of it. So one of the ways that we look for price targets is we look for levels that are important. Okay. Now, if Apple continues to go lower, and based on today's close, it's looking like there's a good chance that happens, a lot of people are going to be saying to themselves, well, where should I buy Apple? People think, oh, it's down 5%, it's down 10%, is it now time to buy? A lot of times when people do that, they're just guessing. They don't really know where to buy it. They don't really have a plan. On Wall Street, that's called you're catching a falling knife. So you could catch it and you might get lucky and it could rebound. But the odds are, if you're just guessing, you're probably going to lose money. You're either going to miss it or you're going to get run over. So when one important level breaks, the idea is to look for what's the next important level that will come into play. All right. So now, assuming Apple goes down over the next few days, I would say to myself, well, gee, where would I buy Apple? Where is there going to be support? What is going to be the level that the buyers finally come into the market and are able to absorb all the stock the sellers have, and in doing so, keep it from going any lower? So now, just looking back, I see that this black line is the $137 price level. Looking back in February, I can see that it was a resistance level. I can also see that it was a resistance level in April. So levels that were resistance have a tendency to turn into support. That's what happened with the 143 level. It was resistance here, it was support here, it was support here, it was support here. Now the support might be breaking. But the question is, this stock is going to go lower. Where do I step in and buy it? Well, if you look at the chart and you see, 137 was important resistance, therefore it might become important support. So you can say to yourself, all right, I'm going to let this thing trend lower. And if it gets down to around 137, that's when I'm going to buy it. So these lines are just price levels that, for whatever reason, have been important in this stock. This black line is 143, and this red line is 137. If you look in between 143 and 137, you really don't see, any important support or resistance. So for whatever reason, as of right now, the levels in between 137 and 143 aren't as important as the 143 level is and the 137 level are.
Good stuff. All right. Thank you, Mark, for that explanation. So got a couple questions here. Number one, so we're getting some questions about time frame, and I just want to say that's all about how fast you want to get in and out. Mark, if you were looking at, let's say Apple touches that red line.
Okay.
Okay. Apple touches that red line. What's the default candlestick increment you're going to go to? Are you going daily, weekly, monthly? How are you going to approach that?
I generally look at daily charts. This is a daily chart. My trading system or style tends to be not really a day trader, but more like a week or 2 or 3 weeks. But that's just my particular style. If you're a day trader, you may want to look at a daily chart or a 5-day chart. Um, so just for more accuracy. But in general, and not that it's right or not that it's wrong, it just works for me. I tend to look at things in a couple weeks or a couple month time frame. If you're a day trader, you're going to want to look at a daily chart. Like, let's take a look at a 5-day chart of Apple and see what we can see. Right now, this is
so each candle is 5 minutes now.
yes. So this is a 5-day chart. One of the interesting things about charting, which makes it, some people think it's really cool, like myself. Other people find it very frustrating, is that charts are fractal in nature. Pretty much everything in charting is fractal, meaning that this is a 5-day chart. This could be potentially a 5-year chart of something. It could look the same. Without knowing the scale, you're not going to know. But the good news is that the fractal things apply. Like if you're a day trader and you're just looking at charts that are 5 minutes, you could still use Bollinger Bands. You can still use overbought and oversold. The same principles apply, but you just have to take into account that things are fractal in nature. Now, looking at this 5-day chart of Apple, we can see a little bit more, a little bit closer information around here. So, if you're a day trader, you might be looking at this level. This is where it found support on the 21st, a week ago. So you might be trading this just for a little bit of a bounce. But I'm talking about someone who's a day trader. They're trading for much smaller increments than a longer term trader is. Like a day trader wants to make a lot of small profits that add up to be a big gain. So what is relevant to a day trader may not be relevant to a longer term trader. But
so Mark, really quick. Okay, so we've got a really good explanation of different time frames there for someone that would be day trading versus someone that would be doing something more like a swing or a positional trade. And we're getting a question. We got one question about trading school, about the cost. Shen, I'll drop that in the chat and we can talk more about that later. But right now we just want to focus on what we're looking at. Now, how do you, Mark, how do you use the RSI? I see it there on the bottom of your chart. How do you use the RSI?
Well, the RSI measures momentum. Okay. There's a lot of different ways to measure momentum. There's probably dozens, if not hundreds. Some of them can be incredibly complex, and some of them can be incredibly simple. Every stock is different, though. What if the RSI might show overbought conditions on one stock and not another? For example, if the default settings for RSI, as they are on this chart here, are 70 and 30. That's the default. That's what it comes in the package. That's what the man who invented this indicator used as his default. But you don't need to use the default settings all the time. Like the default settings of 70 and 30 might work on one stock. If a stock is really, really volatile, like if it's a biotech stock, it might have a need for wider parameters. Like you might want to make it 80 and 20. If a stock really isn't volatile at all, like a utility stock, you might need to tighten the range. And instead of 70-30, use 65-35. This is Neo, which you can see. Now this on the bottom here is your basic RSI indicator. Okay. No, I haven't changed anything. It's just the default settings that come with it that are in Benzinga Pro. It's 70 and 30. Now, this has been an accurate system just with the default settings since the beginning of the year for Neo. Now, momentum measures how much a stock has moved in a given time frame. The RSI indicator uses 14 days, but that's another thing you can change. A certain stock, it might be better to use 10 days. It might be better to use 20 days. All of these indicators have different settings, and by changing the settings, you can optimize it to each stock. In other words, what works on one stock might not work on another, but a simple change of some of the default settings could make it work. Now, look how accurate this system has been with Neo, and this is just the default parameters, okay? When it got over 70 back in January, it said it was overbought. That was a sell signal. Sold it right up here at the top. In March, it showed that it was oversold. That turned out to be a good buy signal. Okay. Now, if you were using a trailing stop out system, you would have caught in this buy and you would have sold it up here when it went a little bit against you. Again, just a simple system with the default settings. In May, on May 13th, it was another buy signal. Okay. And we can see here in June, there was a sell signal. So this is just a simple one parameter system, just using the RSI. You pay attention. If it's oversold, there's a good chance that the buyers come in and bring it higher. If it's overbought, there's a good chance that the sellers come in and knock it lower. And that is what we see here with the RSI indicator.
That is remarkably simple. So everyone in chat right now that's watching, did you catch that? Do you think that with like Neo, y'all know Neo, do you think that you could look at a day chart with Neo and identify with nothing crazy, just the RSI and just the price, that you could identify when to buy and when to sell? Give me a 1 in the chat if you think that you are capable of doing this. Give me a 1. Give me a 2 if you think that that's difficult. There's no way I can ever get there.
No 2s. You can do it.
Yeah, 2 is not an acceptable answer because everyone can do this. So the 1s are coming in. Thank you, Dan. You give me a 1 and your name. All right, guys, I'm loving to see in the 1s. All right. And then so based on the explanation, so I think, Mark, you have a remarkable ability to make things seem very simple by cutting through a lot of the extraneous noise and getting to the core of what is really happening. Not worrying about the woulds, the shoulds, and the maybes, but looking at what is. All right. And I think that's what makes a successful trader. So guys, let me know if you think, based on this little session with Mark, if you think that you could learn a thing or two with Mark if we had some more time. Do you think you could learn some more from Mark? Just some simple stuff to be successful, not overcomplicating it. Yes, of course. Yes, I think so. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yes. 1s coming in. Yes, with a bunch of S's, like you're a Slytherin. Okay. And I think you mean hell yeah, but you put the apostrophe in. So you said heel yeah. But I'll take that as a hell yeah. There it is, Bernie. There, hell yeah. Hell yeah is the right answer. All right. I've learned a lot from Mark myself. Yas Queen. That's the first time I've gotten that as a response. So I've learned a lot from Mark myself. And why? Because I'm not that smart. Newsbreak, I'm not that bright. I need just a couple things to remember. That way I ignore the rest. All right. A lot of the path to success and what we're learning in this lesson right now is ignoring other crap. All right. So if you guys asked a lot of questions, there were a bunch of questions at the beginning about some stuff that I know you guys saw floating around the internet. You heard it from somebody, you saw it on a video. It seemed like it was important. It seemed like something you needed to know in order to succeed in the market. And we just cut right through that down with Neo. Pull Neo back up really quick. Oh, this is an interesting one. Don't get too complicated quite yet here, Mark. Let's go
right.
get back to Neo.
Sure.
Yeah, Mustafa is asking about other indicators. I don't want you guys to even think about those other indicators. All right. If you can succeed with just price levels and RSI, which is available on like every single charting tool on the planet, why would you try to overcomplicate things? Let me know give me a 1 if you want things to be complicated. Give me a 2 if you want things to be simple. Let me know. 1 complicated, 2 for simple.
My experience has been that it really doesn't need to be complicated. It's, Wall Street has this myth, which might be on purpose, because if people think things are complicated, then they pay a lot of fees for whatever it is that the product might be. But what I want to emphasize to our clients, or to our students and our potential students, is that it doesn't need to be complicated. We are looking at supply and demand dynamics. And if you can understand supply and demands, you can understand how to build a system that will give you low risk, profitable trades.
Hey guys, look at the screen.
Oh, okay. Now I see everything.
Yeah, because I took the screen share away from you, Mark. So I'm sharing my screen now. Hey, I'm sharing my screen. This is the brand spanking new, fresh off of the Benzinga and crack engineering team presses, Benzinga Trading School, brand new platform. This is the basis right here. All right. Every day, Monday through Thursday, we have scheduled classes live. All right. You got your calendar up here. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We're talking trends, numbered, taking you from that point A, where you're the person that's asking questions because you're confused, not knowing what to do, and working you up to B, to where point B, where you're the person that has the answers. All right. And you're surrounded by folks that are speaking the same language. And this, we believe, is the best place for anyone to go if they're looking to get serious about trading. This is Benzinga Trading School. It is brand new. We are accepting students. It is September. It is back to school season. You guys asked about the price. We're going to drop those links in the chat for you. You can also just look down and you've got the links and the information below your video if you're watching on the platform. So this is how it works. You've got your home here. Every day you log in, you've got 2 things. You've got your live class. We do this live. This is never pre-recorded. Why? Because the market is not pre-recorded. The market moves live. So the class is always pertaining to what is happening. And you can see this was from class this morning. Very, very good experiences. We are learning things. And as you learn, you're charting along with Mark with your tool. Every day after the live class, we have our midday update. We get back together. What's happening intraday? What's the move? Ask questions, get them answered. All right. And then if you're a busy person, like I know you are, you always have the recordings from the previous live sessions in your past classes section to review it at your leisure. It is there for you. And of course, no trading platform would be complete without a robust chat system. We are building this thing out to absolutely blow Discord out of the water. Forget about Discord. This is a chat made for traders. So we are bringing in new trading tools every single day, rapidly developing this to make this the destination for people that not only want to learn how to be successful in trading, but continue being successful in trading. So with that, I want to let you know that this this platform, with all of this education, with the teamwork trading, is available for you now for over half off. Just click that link in the description, and you will be able to get that. And I know we got Rodrigo here who's going to help you out if you have questions. If you want to talk to a sales representative, we've got Rodrigo here standing by email and by phone. So with that, I'm going to get right back into the lesson. Guys, Mark, you were about to show us something that had some bullish engulfing and bearish engulfing candles. I want you to share your screen again so you can explain what those are. Because I think that understanding that RSI oversold, overbought thing that we showed you with NEO is a very simple example of a simple system. Now let's do another example of a simple system with buy and sell signals, when to enter, when to exit.
All right, so
go ahead and share your screen, Mark.
Oh,
where's the link? Okay, guys, folks are asking. Link is coming up.
Okay, so we can see JP Morgan now?
Yes.
All righty. All right, so now this is, well, first of all, let's just look at JP Morgan through a regular chart, and we'll just talk a little bit about candlestick patterns. All right, so we can see here, this is JP Morgan, and we can see that there is clear resistance around the 167 level, which is where it is closed a little bit below that today. It didn't get through it. We could also see that the 148 level is clear support. But now let's go over to candlesticks, all right? Candlestick patterns are pretty cool. And they're not as complicated as they sound if you understand what it is that they show. Okay, now with a candlestick, a blue day is an up day. The stock opened at the bottom of the rectangle and closed at the top of the rectangle. Next day, it opened at the bottom of the rectangle, closed at the top of the rectangle. So it's almost analogous to if you like football and you see like all the X's and O's and you know what's going on the field, to understand what's going on here. And you don't even really need to remember the names of all these patterns. But let's take a look at this rally here, okay? So anyway, so this is JP Morgan. This is August 19th. The stock is at like 153. The stock rallies. Now this is what's called a bearish engulfing pattern, which is bearish because obviously it says bearish in the name. But forget about the bearish engulfing pattern. What does this show? Let's think about supply and demand dynamics between August 19th and August 31st. The blue, again, up days. The bulls are in charge. Stock opens, trends higher over the course of the day, closes near the highs of the day. Stock opens, trends higher, closes higher. Stock opens, trends higher, closes higher. Bulls are still in control. Stock opens higher, bulls are still in control. Stock opens, trends higher, bulls are still in control. This stock was down a little. This day was down a little bit, but it's still higher than the previous day's close. Another bullish pattern here. Buy the stock opens here, goes here, and closes. Now, what happens on this day where it's a bearish engulfing pattern? This just shows up through the candlestick feature on the chart system I'm using here, but you don't really need to remember the names of what is a bullish engulfing pattern or what is this or that. Just think about this conceptually, okay? The bulls are in control. Now we get to this day, August 30th. Remember, the red days are down days. The top of the rectangle is where the stock opened and the bottom is where it closed. So this day shows that the bulls are no longer in charge. In the morning, the bulls were in charge because the stock opened at a higher level than the prior day's close. So if you were to put on CNBC, which I highly recommend you don't, you should actually delete that channel from your cable if you can. But in the morning, if you looked at the news, they would have said, all right, it closed around 163. Now it's at 163.20. It's up 20 cents. But by the end of the day, the bears came in, knocked the thing lower, and it closed down around 160, which was the low of the day. So what is this bullish engulfing pattern? That sounds mysterious, but it's really not. It's a graphical illustration that the bears are taking control from the bulls. In the morning, the stock was up. By the end of the day, it closed down. That shows you that the trend has changed. There's three ways to know when a trend changes. One is the break of a trend line. The second is maybe a moving average crossover. The third is a reversal pattern. In this case, this bearish engulfing pattern. And again, I don't want you to get caught up with remembering the names because that's not important. What you need to remember is the fundamentals and what are the supply and demand dynamics that this illustrates. All right. Bulls are in charge, but on this day, the bulls won the morning, but by the afternoon and by the close, the bears had knocked the stock lower. That was a sign the trend was changing. And you could even see that same kind of action here. This one doesn't have a name, or maybe this trading system, trading view doesn't have a, it doesn't show up automatically, but it's a similar situation, all right? Again, think about the X's and O's on a football field, if you like football, are just, forget about the magical stuff. Forget about the terms, the Goldman patterns, the dojis, the morning stars. Just look at what this shows you, okay? This day was an up day, August 5th. Bulls are in charge. This day, August 6th, was an up day. Bulls are in charge. This day, down slightly, but traded sideways. This day, the bulls are in charge. This day, the bulls are in charge. What happens here on August 12th? Well, the stock opens, went higher, went lower, closed down slow, closed down a little bit. But then what happened the next day? The stock opened near its highs of the day, sold off over the course of the day, and closed near the lows of the day. So this one day action shows you that the bulls are no longer in charge. The bears have taken control. And sure enough, it doesn't say that what this pattern is on this chart, but this is probably got some kind of a name for a chart pattern. But again, you don't need to remember the name. Just understand what this shows. Think about this. Bulls are in charge. Bulls and bears become basically equal. Bears take control. And that was an indication that we were going to see a move lower. So I'm going to say this a lot in my classes, is that it's not important to remember what the names are. Over my career, I've seen a lot of technical analysts talk about like, oh, this is a head and shoulders, this is this is that. You don't need to remember the names. You just need to understand the supply and demand dynamics that are being illustrated. And if you can do that, you can make profitable trades. And this is one of the things that I want to talk about in our class, is dispelling the myth or the seeming complexity of what all these things are. There's a logical, common sense explanation behind why a pattern like this shows you that an uptrend is over. And here is the reverse. We can see the bears were in control, but here the bulls took over. So let's take the complexity out of it. Forget all these super secret double probation systems, and this guy can use this, and this person can use that. It's all about supply and demand and levels and trends and momentum.
Okay, Mark. So we got a couple things that I want to rapid fire. Are you ready for a rapid fire question session?
Rapid, sure.
Let's go. All right. So really quick, why should folks not be glued to CNBC?
Oh my God, I can't do that rapid. I mean, I could write a PhD dissertation.
Come on. Short answer. Why should you not be glued to cable broadcast stock market coverage?
Well, short answer is because they're wrong most of the time. Longer answer is that the media is there to entertain, and they always have to find a reason for why a stock is moving or why a market is moving. the vast majority of the time they are wrong. Remember, I mean, come on, let's face the facts, right? CNBC or other other of these news wires, they're there to entertain you. They're not there to teach you. They're not teachers. They're entertainers. And most of the people, as far as I can tell, I mean, there are certain people I listen to. Like if I see Mario Gabelli on CNBC, I'm going to listen. I mean, Mario is a brilliant guy. I'm going to listen if he's on. But the vast majority of the time, I think the media needs to explain, all right, well, the stock market was down today. Here's why. It was the Turkish lira, or because someone somewhere said something. The vast majority of the time, the stock market, it's
Mark,
yeah,
rapid fire.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
All right. Don't watch CNBC because it's wrong. And they sell.
All right. So we got this one earlier. When you're looking at a stock, is it possible, and if so, how can you forecast a potential price target?
Well, yes, it is. It is possible, and that's why we're here. For example, I know hindsight is 2020, but let's go back to September 22nd. JP Morgan starts to rally. You buy JP Morgan here. You say, now I'm talking in the context of someone's a trader, not a long-term holder. You say, I just bought JP Morgan at 155. It's rallying. Where should I sell it? Well, look for the previous resistance level, because this level will probably come into play again. And as we can see, that's exactly what happened. Yesterday, the stock closed right around 167, got above it today and sold off a little bit. So by knowing where the important support and resistance levels are, it will tell you where to put your price targets. You won't have to just guess. If you want to put JP Morgan on your buy radar screen and it starts to trend lower, well, I would be looking at 148 as your buy price. So knowing which levels are important is going to tell you where to place your buy and your sell orders.
Very, very good. All right. Can you pull up Microsoft on the screen?
Yeah, Microsoft looked a little weak today at the close.
Yeah. What is your take on it from a swing / positional trade perspective?
I would say that this red line marks I'm going to call it 285, the 285 level. This level was support in early August. Looks today like we've broke it. We've closed below it. As a swing trader, I would say if Microsoft does not rebound and get above this important 285 level, there's a good chance it's going to continue to go lower. I'd be looking at the puts or potentially shorting the stock. Me personally, I really don't like to short stocks. I would rather buy the puts because
which puts would you buy? Like just in a ballpark, like when you're talking about buying puts, are you in the money, out of the money? How far out is that strike price?
Well, that would depend on where.
Date, rather.
Yeah, I mean, it would kind of depend on what kind of a move I see going lower. Like I think Microsoft could break this level, but I don't see it really dropping significantly. So I might buy a put that's slightly in the money or maybe neutral if I saw like a potential big move lower. Like let's look at this IBB, which I mentioned before. Like if I see a potential big move lower like this here, I would probably buy something that's a little bit out of the money, like maybe the 160 puts.
Okay, so a little bit out of the money for the puts there. So you're saying,
yeah, if something looks like it's really going to move a lot, I would go for something that's a little bit out of the money.
Let's go. All right, so there's a little bit of options. We do have a very special guest. Give me a 1 in the chat if you're familiar with a man called Rodrigo that works at Benzinga. Give me a 2 if this is your first introduction to Rodrigo. Ooh, lots of 2s on Zoom. Yes. Rodrigo.
What up? What up?
These folks haven't been knowing you. I think we got to get a little introduction. Rodrigo, tell us about yourself.
You guys need to get to know me. We're gonna be good friends. Yeah, the trading school. I'm pretty pumped about it. Good to see so many actual students here as well, Neil.
Yeah, there are a lot of students here. Thank you guys for attending this. You guys have been busy all day.
That's good. So, well, I did see some questions, and I just want to go over them really quick. Yes, Benzinga Pro is included in the trading school, so that is part of your educational toolkit that you will get as a brand new Benzinga student. Everything that Mark is teaching is you can apply it to whichever asset category that you have. Personally, I'm a momentum trader with options, and for that, I need to know how to read charts. I need to know when possible breakouts could come out. And it's all comes down to probabilities, but you want to be more right than wrong ultimately. So even if you're trading crypto, this applies to that as well, because the investor psychology is still the same. There are people behind these computers clicking buy and clicking sell. So if you have your pro, you set up your watch list, you can put up the Dow, the triple Qs, SPY, you have everything there. The only pre-market scanner that's open at 4 a.m, the only right when the class begins, and the only one that's open after hours as well. And on top of the scanner, you have the signals tool. You have the filters. As you can see, you can filter by market cap price. Signals tool, you can look at price spikes. You can look at block trades, which does covers dark pools. And you have 52-week highs and 52-week lows on the top right, which is the favorite one that I use because a 1-year support or 1-year resistance after losing it after a year of trying to hold it seems somewhat significant. So I do sum it up that way. I also like to, well, the watch list is one of my favorite ones because you have a bunch of different watch lists, and then you can filter the advanced news feed on the top left corner. And then let's say if you want to filter that, you can just click on watch list, right? And you can filter it by the watch list so that you can literally put whichever watch list you want, right? So smart money picks, short squeeze plays, whatever it is that you have there. And then you get the news that you want to see, right? Don't get distracted with the headlines that you're looking at on CNBC, because that's how I started trading and I started losing money right away, right? If you buy on CNBC, it's the kiss of death, literally. Yesterday, I was bullish on a firm.
Yeah.
John Najarian came out there and said, buy calls, a firm tanked, okay? So if they mention any stocks, I get rid of them. So, but yes, doing your own research, doing your own due diligence, that's going to be your best friend, right? You can't trust companies that literally are an entertainment company. That's what they are. So you need to take this seriously. That's why we're giving you the tools to do that. But on top of that, remember, you have the calendar. If you do need an IPO calendar, FDA calendar, you have an options calendar there as well, earnings calendar, analyst ratings, guidance, FDA splits. And in the advanced news feed, you can filter it by keyword search. One of my favorite ones that I like to use, and I'm only giving this out for the trading school. Okay. This is my favorite keyword, FDA approval, Neil. We put FDA approval there. One word, that is the keyword. It's the power of search, the power of Google. You see all the PRs that come out there that have an FDA approval in the actual PR. So you can also even set.
Oh, wait a second. What's that top line there? Can MDMA improve
easy, Mark.
sexual
Easy,
desire
Mark.
in women?
Easy. All right, but FDA approvals are a catalyst. This is about getting news before the moves, not after the moves. All right. You guys know the phrase, and if you don't, here it is: buy the rumor, sell the what? Sell the news, right?
You can put email notifications there too, Neil. So if you're a busy guy like me, you don't have your pro open, you can set up email alerts, and bam, you get your own customized email trade alerts. That's awesome.
There you go. There you go. And sounds and push notifications. That's Benzinga Pro. But hey, that is just tucked in to the Benzinga Trading School platform, right? We get a pro right here. That comes with Benzinga Trading School. This is the offer that we're trying to get you into right now, before it gets too full, and we gotta get everyone out, or we have to put a cap on. We can only take so many students at a time, or Mark is going to lose his mind. So I want to let you know about some of the finer points of Benzinga Trading School. Number one is that everything is based around this screen right here, which is live class. All right. So you get your live class taught by Mark. Tomorrow we have trends. This is the third class in an 8-class sequence that is always based on what is happening in the market live. You trade along with you chat along with your fellow traders, and you follow along with charts to make sure that you are actually learning as you go along and committing these things to memory. The idea is that you walk away from these initial lessons with an idea of how to identify things like support and this little trend that I just drew on the chart. And then an idea of when Apple breaks out of this downward trend, I'm interested in entering for a little breakout trade. Those are the types of things that you learn how to do and draw on your chart in the live classes on Benzinga Trading School. You get all of your past recordings here in the past classes section. You've got your midday sessions. You've got your classes by number, by title there for you. And then, of course, you've got a full screen charting tool so that you can share your charts, share what you're looking at with your instructor, Mark Putrino, so that you are making sure that you are using everything right and actually progressing. And that's what we're trying to do for everyone here at the trading school.
Yep. Oh, Neil, I think we definitely have to welcome a new family member here. I don't know if you want to make the honors.
I don't have the horn. I'm not looking at the list. Okay, oh no, who is it?
I got the list here. Hold up 1 second. You know how we do it here, guys. We treat everybody like family.
I got a bunch. You got the horn, I got the list.
All right,
I found
go
it.
ahead. Let's go.
All right. B. Moiner, Corey YC, Charles, looks like Conrad and Sergey and Arel. Going off your email. So sorry if I got your name a little bit wrong, but welcome to the Benzinga Trading School. Thank you for grabbing that offer. Guys, we're going to drop the link in the chat once again. Guys, this offer expires at midnight. This offer expires at midnight, guys. So get on in. If you guys feel like you're capable of using a simple strategy to be successful, I highly recommend getting in here so you can earn while you learn. Mark, why don't you let's pull up that Neo example again really quick. I thought that was really good. Mark, could you pull that up?
Yeah, sure.
And while you're doing that, guys, I just want to share with you, we submitted our platform to Trustpilot so that we can have verified user reviews on everything that Benzinga does. And we maintain a 4.5 on our platforms. And just take a look at some of this. One of the number one things that we really emphasize as a brand, our promise to you, is that you will always speak to a human whenever you have an issue, have a question, or anything like that. All right. The customer service is second to none. We will respond to you within 10 minutes, no matter what, always. All right. You don't get that on Discord. You don't get that anywhere else. This is a great tool for any level trader. If you're an absolute newbie, this is where you want to be. If you're an intermediate, this is where you want to be. If you're advanced, I highly recommend you check it out. 7-day money back guarantee. All right. That's how much we believe in it. If you don't like 7 full days of classes, chat, access to the full Benzinga Pro platform with the charting tools and everything else, if that doesn't float your boat and you're feeling like you can't succeed with those tools, we'll give you your money back. No questions asked. Then Mark, do you have that chart open?
Yeah. Can you see it, or do I need to share again?
You got to share again.
Okay.
And Rodrigo, what were you about to say?
I was going to say, because Josh asked the question, is there a deal if you already have Benzinga Pro? If anybody here, just to save you guys time, if anybody here has Benzinga Pro and wants a deal, call the number that's on the chat at Rodrigo. I'll find a way to hook you up. Don't worry. So don't worry about that, just because we get that question a lot.
Yep, exactly. And yeah, Rodrigo usually gets pretty busy after we do these lessons. So let's talk about, Rodrigo, you mentioned dark pools. Really quick, can you just explain what a dark pool is?
Yeah. So dark pool is basically, I spoke with Mark about dark pools about 2-3 weeks ago, because I got a pretty good banger on SPRT calls, you remember, and there's a lot of shorting going on there. So who else to ask than Mark, right? Former hedge fund manager under Steve Cohen. So yeah, hedge funds are like these different markets out there, and dark pools. So but to cut, to your question, Haley, in the signals tab inside Benzinga Pro, you just select block trades, and block trades do cover the dark pool trades. So that's something that you can use if you do want to start looking for dark pool trades, like millions of shares.
The whole term dark pool is kind of a myth, right? Because a dark pool is a private exchange, and the people that run the exchange, like for instance, if a Goldman Sachs or Morgan Stanley has a dark pool, they say, well, this is in the dark, like you can't see what's going on here. But that's a myth, because if they trade a stock, they still need to print it. In other words, they still need to report it. So you still see it's going to trade. So dark pools really aren't that dark. It's just a term for like a private exchange that a firm might own that may or may not let investors into it.
Yeah, and Mark, can you walk us through this Neo concept? Like, this is what we call a system. This is a trading system. Can you walk us through once again what the mindset is here and how simple this is?
Sure. Okay. Very simply, the reason why most investors lose money is because they guess. They let their emotions take control. They get into some chat room and someone says buy XYZ and they buy it. The reason why you want to have a system, and a system is a set of parameters or conditions that must be met in order to enter the trade, is because it takes the guesswork away. It takes the emotion out of it. If you trade with emotions, you're going to fail. You're going to panic when the market's at a bottom and basically give your stocks away. And when the market's at the top, you're going to chase it up. The whole concept of trading systems, trading models, is to take the emotions out of the thought process. If there's one thing you walk away with today, that's it. Take the emotions out of your trading. So let's look at Neo. Now, yeah, maybe you just guessed, and like Rodrigo says, maybe you got a lottery ticket and got it right. But most people aren't that fortunate. You might get lucky, but eventually, if you don't have a system, you're going to blow up. My experience has been in 25 years on Wall Street is that the people that guess they blow up. They're the ones that think Wall Street is rigged, Wall Street is fixed. The big guys have some cabal going on to take advantage of the little guy. Let me tell you something, my friends, that is not true at all. And as a matter of fact, some people have a hard time believing this, but the last firm that I was the head trader at, we had a couple different hedge funds that had different strategies. But in our hedge fund, which was long only, nothing sexy or sophisticated, no shorting, no options, just pure buy and hold, really good value companies. Guess who the clients were in that fund, which was, I think, about $400 million. Well, a big client was a teacher's pension plan. Another big client was a church endowment. So there's this myth that these hedge funds are trading for these like oligarchs, but that's not true. Institutions and hedge funds or mutual funds or institutional money managers manage money for other institutions. What are those other institutions? Pension plans, endowments. I guess I'm digressing a little bit, but let's go back to this Neo. But here we go. Just this simple system, and I'm not saying follow this in the future because it's a perfect system. But the point is when it gets here, you're not just guessing to sell. You're not just saying, oh my gosh, it's up. Should I sell? What do I do? I made a profit. You're going to sell based on the fact that you've met this parameter that the stock has become overbought. So this thing is you're not going to guess. You're not going to tell Neo what to do. Neo is going to tell you what to do. Neo is overbought. It's time to sell. Very simple indicator. Neo gets oversold. It's time to buy. Again, you're not guessing. You're letting this indicator tell you what to do. Once again, Neo gets oversold. Time to buy. Okay. Neo gets overbought. Time to sell. So the whole concept behind a trading system or a model or a strategy is to take the emotions out of it. This is a simple one parameter model. It could be a 2-parameter model, a 3-parameter model, but they all try to get to the same result, which is having logic make your decisions as opposed to having your emotions make your decision.
Hey, Mark, I want to share my screen really quick. I've got the class syllabus pulled up. Would you mind walking us through the syllabus and the course structure?
Yeah, sure. So I have picked 8 topics which I think are the most important. And again, we're going back to let's keep this simple. And keep in mind too, I hate to pat myself on the back or anything like that because it's whatever. But when I was in business school and when I was in the hedge fund world, I encountered a lot of these amazingly sophisticated strategies with regression analysis and statistical this and statistical that. And after our students are fortunate because in the first couple of years of my career, I made a lot of the same mistakes that they're probably making now. But after my experience and after my learning, I've come to believe or realize that, you don't need to be that complicated. It can be really simple. So we're going to have 8 classes. And the way the classes work is they go Monday through Thursday. The classes teach the fundamentals. For instance, this morning we spoke about levels, how to figure out what's an important level, how to figure out what's support, how to figure out what's resistance. And then we take what we talked about in the class and apply it to the current market. All right. One of the frustrations I had when I was trying to learn all this stuff is, you read a book and whoever wrote it talks about, the calls they made 5 years ago, and they show you the charts and, hindsight's 2020. So what we want to do is keep this in real time. So there's 8 classes that will go continuously. Once we get to the 8th class, they restart. And obviously as students, you're welcome to always, re-engage and, and I would recommend you stick with the classes for at least a few months. But so we're going to do 8 classes. The first class is just kind of cover my philosophy and my thoughts on the street and trading. And of course, there's a lot of carryover in between the classes. Class number 2 is levels, and that's what we talked about this morning. Class number 3, tomorrow morning at 7, we're going to talk about trends, because stocks are always doing one of 3 things. They're either always going up, going down, or going sideways. So we're going to talk about trends and how to identify trends. The 4th class, which is going to be on Thursday, is on momentum. And we're going to look at how you can tell if something is overbought or oversold. This NEO model actually is the perfect thing for momentum. As a matter of fact, I think it's actually even in the momentum lesson. The 5th lesson is chart patterns, which this month or this week will be next Monday. The 6th lesson is investment psychology, which is probably the most important lesson of them all in a lot of ways, because you have to understand how to take the emotions out of it, which is what we've been doing with this moving average or with this momentum system. So you can see where there's kind of a crossover. The 7th class is we're going to look at just various ways to look at the broader markets, to look at the various sectors. Like, for example, the students who are with us this morning know this, but the people that are checking in might want to think about how this morning we talked about how the market was going to be weak because the financial sector, which had been leading the market higher, was overbought, and it was also running into a level that was resistance. So here's the financial sector. And then the 8th class is going to be a class on how to put together your own models or put together your own systems. So, this is like taking karate or like taking a golf lesson. You're not just going to do it in one lesson. And maybe there's some brilliant super genius out there somewhere that can teach you a secret system. If so, let me know, because I would be happy. I would be happy to know about it, but I don't think that it exists. So these are 8 classes, and they're going to go Monday through Thursday, and they're going to start again. And if there's a holiday, like for instance, Thanksgiving is on a Thursday, we'll just pick up where we left off on the following Monday to get the cycle going again. But the classes in the morning, we're going to be talking about the fundamentals. All right. We're going to be talking about what I just went over, levels, trends, momentum. Then in the midday session or in the Q&A that comes after the lecture, we're going to be applying what we spoke about to what's going on in the current market. And that's where I think that a lot of students will get value, because, you know, obviously any book you pick up, no one's going to talk about, oh, I made a mistake. They're only going to publish the stuff that was great. But I like this concept of teaching people in real time is something I've been after literally for a couple of years now. And I've was at a couple other places where it didn't work out for various reasons, you know, nothing bad or anything like that. But I can tell when I met Neil that Benzinga has a whole kind of a different mindset than most of these people. So we are going to be talking about the markets in real time. If there's something big that happens in the market, if there's a big blow off or a crash or a huge move, we're going to talk about it in real time. So that's why I would like to invite the students to join the class, and I think you're going to get a lot from it. But I don't think you have to keep in mind, I don't think it's going to come in one day. You got to give us a little patience. You got to give us a little time. You know, again, you don't go to take one golf lesson and become Tiger Woods, right? You have to take a lot of lessons. You have to practice for a while, and then it becomes second nature. You don't just become, you know, you don't go like pick up a guitar and take one lesson and become Jimi Hendrix, right? You have to spend time. And that's what I want you students to do. I want you to spend time with us every morning and every afternoon going over these concepts. And I think if you have an open mind and if you try to unlearn stuff you've learned before, if you've been doing this for a while, or if you're just starting, just kind of listen to it, take it in, I think you're going to definitely be happy with what you get out of it. And if not, you know, let us know and we'll try to address it.
Hey, Mark. Okay, I want to go through some questions that are coming in on Zoom. Do we record the classes? Yes, classes are recorded to accommodate your busy schedule. Have classes already started? Yes, but they're always rolling. We're rotating through those 8 classes, so they're always live and pertaining to the market as it is today. So if you miss one, you can always catch it later. We know you're busy. You can either watch a recording from a previous class or you can attend a future class. So you can start anytime and it's always there for you. How much money do I need to get started? Many people start trading with $200, $500 accounts. That's a place to start. You can do that by buying and selling common stocks with a margin account. Many people start off this way, and you just grow. It's all about protecting capital. Someone asked, do you talk about risk management? Absolutely. Risk management is central to every single lesson and everything we do, because you can't build with gains without having a solid foundation of not losing too much. So if you start with a $200 account, we're always protecting that capital first before we even talk about adding to that capital. Absolute minimization of losses. So you want to know your ratio. What is your risk to reward ratio? We like a good 1 to 4, something like that. Sometimes we take better, different odds as long as the setup is really good. And what is the minimum you need to receive margin? I don't know. I think it's like Rodrigo, do you know what it is? It's not much. Like you do not need much. It depends on the brokerage. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you need in your account.
I think it's going to depend. However, some of these like young applications, you know, the Weebles, the Robinhoods, I don't even think they have a minimum, because I know when I was funding my account, I just put like $300-400 and I already had margin. You need to apply for it though. It's not, you know, I think you need to apply for it. I don't know.
Yeah, when I signed up for my Robinhood account, like back in like 2016, it just had margin, and I definitely did not have a lot of money back then. Okay, and then can I make over 3 trades a week with less than 25,000 in my account? Yes. The limit is 5 trades that are bought and sold in the same day, the same asset, the same day. That's when it comes up as a day trade. Other than that, you can do everything you want. Yeah, never forget your stop loss. So John Doe, absolutely. I've had a couple stop losses trigger this past week, and last week. Okay, so you mentioned brokerage. Is there one specific one that is recommended? No, this works with any brokerage. All right, we're focusing on buying and selling stocks, buying and selling options. Pretty much every brokerage lets you do that. Pick one that suits your needs and suits your values. If you're new, you shouldn't use margin. I said you can open a margin account, but I didn't say to use it. All right. So that's a different thing, but you want to be set up with a margin account so it's easier for you to trade options in the future, right? You want to be able to trade options, don't you? Can I see a class first? Oliver, you just got a preview of what a class was. This was a little bit faster, a little bit accelerated, but this was taken directly from the first portion of a class. And then we go into a broader Q&A where we talk about the markets now. Now, someone was asking, where can I follow along? Oh, it's Greg on YouTube. How do I set up my candlesticks and RSI charts to mirror the one Mark is using right here? So when you're looking up, if you can see my screen, you right up here is where Mark is streaming live to you every day, and you are following along down here. So if Mark is looking at, let's say he's looking at SPY and he's looking at the daily candles, I just set him up to be just like Mark's. And then Mark identifies a level of support that we're currently at. I'm going to draw it right here. That sounds about right. Very, very easy to follow along all in one spot, and chat. And if you have questions, your fellow classmates can help you answer or can help answer them. And we're there to answer them for you too. Is this class right for me? I know nothing about trading. Yes, that's what we made this class for, because a lot of people want to trade, but they're all starting in the wrong spot. This is the right spot to start. We've designed it. We put a lot of work into it to make it that way. Melody, how do I register for the class? Rodrigo can drop a link in there so you can register.
Yeah, go on now.
Register class on above web. I'm not sure what that means, but what I will say is that here, if I can show you the mobile version, let me do some fancy hacking stuff. We'll inspect this and we'll go to mobile view. So the platform is completely mobile responsive. So if you use it on your phone, this is what the phone experience is like. You've got your chat right here. Easy peasy. Everyone was we were talking about giving diplomas to everyone after they finished classes. And people started asking for jackets and hats and shirts too. Got a little bit out of hand. We're thinking about the jackets, but someone wanted leather jackets. So yeah, very enthusiastic crowd this morning, but we'll have to check with Mr. Jason Rasnick, see if we can give away those jackets. But this is the mobile experience. If you want to see your home screen where you can see your upcoming classes, very, very easy to do that. You've got your schedule here. What's coming up on Thursday? Well, we've got 2 events. That's actually tomorrow. What's coming up? We've got trends. We've got our Monday update. These are past recordings. So everything is in there very easily for you on mobile. Going back into the desktop view. Is this an accredited type of school? No, we're not accredited. That would be interesting though.
It's not
we're teaching
accredited.
how to train.
Yeah, it's not accredited, but I did want to mention Mark has over 20 years as a certified CMT. So he's basically, giving you all of that education that he's received. So if you want to go and try for the CMT and get certified, that's one way, or you can learn from somebody who's been doing that for 20 years as a chief market technician.
Yeah, I think it would be, let's just say it would be very easy to pass the CMT exams after Benzinga Trading School. I think you mentioned shared trading plans. Well, one thing that we do is every day Mark puts a trade idea into the chat so that everyone has an idea of what is on his mind. That is a price target, an entry, a trigger, a stop loss, or in a rationale or reason behind the trade, including a chart and why we're doing it. So you get that every day if you want that instant satisfaction.
Do you remember the last pick? I remember very well when Mark called the bottom in oil when it was like $60. Remember? And all the people that were just joining, they're like, man, they called me like, hey, Rodrigo, I'm making money. I haven't even started the school yet. I'm so happy. But Mark is very good with, do you remember, Neil, the bottom of oil?
Hitting support on oil, on the ETF and a couple names,
Yes.
and then turning it right around. Yeah, that's so we were talking about catching falling knives at the very beginning of the session. Someone said, don't try to catch a falling knife. Well, if you know where it might stop, then you can look for an entry. And that's exactly what happened on oil there. The question from Brian is the discount that we're talking about right now for the first year, and will it go up after that? This is the discount is for a lifetime, baby. You get in now. That's why we're trying to encourage you guys to get in on this. This is a good deal on a great platform with a great educator, and some of the best darn support people and fellow classmates. I gotta say, the students so far have been really good. Great attitudes, very welcoming, great group. Yes, and the discount lasts for the lifetime of your subscription. It is an annual subscription. It's a annual subscription. We gotta make sure that we're keeping this platform up, constantly improving it, putting more tools in there for you, making it better for you. What are the triggers? So those triggers are usually based on technical analysis, but Christopher, you got to take the classes to learn those triggers. That's specific. It's usually when something hits a certain price, something along those lines. Is there a free to use Benzinga Pro? There is not a free to use Benzinga Pro, but Benzinga Pro comes with Trading School. It's right in there. So when I click it, opens Benzinga Pro, logs me right in. Yep, lifetime T. Love that too. So if I buy the classes, can I share my login credentials with my sister in Denver so she can learn too? Haley, I don't encourage doing that, but we'll take the Netflix, we'll look the other way policy on that. So go ahead and do that. I won't say that's something that we won't block in the future though, because we don't want just one person to buy the class and share it with everyone. Plus, you and your sister can't log in at the same time and participate at the same time. That won't work. It doesn't work on two different computers at the same time. You have to be at different times. Is this class ever? Hold on, really quick. Is this class ever going to happen again? This class is nonstop, all day, every day. All right, Rodrigo, what were you going to say?
Well, Brian put a good question. Are there any additional annual fees associated? And I just want to clarify this because I know there's definitely, there's always going to be copycats, but usually what I've heard from traders and users is that typically, you pay like $1,000 for a support resistance level, and then you go to level 2, and then you pay another $1,000 for, and then another. This is not structured like that. This is a buy one-time payment, and you get everything. There's no upsells or anything. You get the whole course. There's no need to pay for one course now and then, there's no surprise like, hey, you want to take level 2 class, it's another 1,000. No, it's $960 for the year, and it's always going to stay at that price.
There you go. Does this deal include a laptop? No, we're not doing a laptop right now. If you want to get the laptop deal, so we do a deal where you get a laptop for signing up. It is not this one, but if you want the laptop and you want to join the trading school, contact Rodrigo and we can do that. That's not what we're running broadly for everyone, but if that sounds like you, Rodrigo's your guy. Yes, we do a plan. Generally, the trading school does come with a laptop. The trading school is normally priced at $4,000 per year. So if I go to Benzinga Trading School.com, which is the normal website for Benzinga Trading School. Accelerated college style courses, full Benzinga Pro access, and here it is. Comes with a free laptop. This promotion that we're talking about right now does not include the laptop because we took the price down so low to make sure that new students can get in when we're just getting going here in time for early classes, that we had to bring the margins down. But if you want the laptop deal, contact Rodrigo, figure something out for you. Yeah, I mean, would you guys like us to open up a deal with the laptop? We can make that easier for you to get. But I would say definitely get in touch with Rodrigo. It'll make it happen. And Monarch IP over on YouTube says, I love Benzinga Pro. Thank you. We love it too. We put a lot of work into it. We think it's the best damn due diligence tool in the world. Do we cover futures trading too? Absolutely, every single day. It's important to know what's going on in the futures markets in order to understand what's going on in the stock market. So we talk about futures, we talk about cryptocurrency, we talk about stocks, we talk about options, everything, and it's at your pace. You as the students control the pace, control the conversation. Rodrigo's info, please.
Let me drop it in there. Oh, just a quick one there. I know Christopher is asking something if he can take the other classes once he's done with the 8 classes. I just want to clarify something. Even we are structuring this in 8 separate chapters. That doesn't mean that you're going to go over the entire chapter in one day. The entire class is structured in a yearly format. So 1-2 weeks is not covering, you're covering like a fraction of a fraction. When you go to school, you don't go to school for 2 days, right? You stay for the whole year period. So just to clarify that, the classes will go through a span of 1 year.
Yeah. So T's asking, will we get some additional training on the Benzinga platform? Yes, we'll spend some time with you to make sure that you understand Benzinga Pro. That is part of our no trader left behind policy. If you are ever feeling flustered or lost, or like you're not keeping up with what we're talking about, with what your fellow classmates and traders are talking about, we will slow down and we will take time to talk directly with you for one-to-one coaching to make sure you are caught up. I will personally do that. Mark will personally do that. We have a whole team of traders that are on our support staff, on all of our staff. This is made by traders for traders. And we'll make sure that you understand everything. I'm still learning stuff all the time from the trading school, but I'm pretty darn confident with my trading. I've got several years under my belt, so I'm there for you. And I'm in the platform. So you use DOS Trader for execution. Will that integrate with the information on Benzinga as well? That's a question for contact licensing at benzinga.com for that. Licensing at benzinga.com, Brad. That's a completely separate thing. Options trading included? Yemi asks. Yeah, we talk about options. We even talked about them during this session about perhaps buying puts. I think it was on Apple, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, what am I missing here? Do you guys want to go through some tickers? Let's do a ticker rapid fire session, Mark. You want to share your screen and then chat? You guys give us your tickers and we will go through them. What time are the classes? I will drop a link to the syllabus once again. The classes are every morning, Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. Eastern in the pre-market hours, 7 a.m. stock market time, pre-market time. So you get the lesson, and then you start applying it to the day. Then we meet up again around lunchtime for a midday catch-up, Monday through Thursday. Then Friday is office hours. Think of this as an accelerated college course. That's how it works. And the classes are usually a little bit more than 1 hour, but it's up to you. We try to keep them short. We're trying to figure out what's best for everyone's attention span. It really is about like how conversational the class is that day. How long it lasts. All right, tickers are coming in. Let's look at Tesla, TSLA.
All right, so you can see my chart here, I presume?
Yes, sir.
All righty. I was actually looking at Tesla today, and again, we have another example here of the whole concept of certain price levels are more important than others. So we can see this support level down here, right? Call it 550. So it got to support here. So now say the stock rallied, well, which it did, but it's here and you think, well, I want to buy Tesla, but it's in a downtrend. Where should I buy it? Well, you look at the last level of support was around 550, and that turns out to be a level of support again. So now let's look at this. So Tesla has rallied, and this stock is actually right now at a pretty critical inflection point. All right, I'm going to put this line at here. We're going to just say that that's 765. So you can see it was resistance here. It was resistance here. Now the stock has seemingly broken through. So this brings us to the next question. How do we know if a breakout is real, if it will continue, or if it's going to be what's known as a false breakout, something that just goes up and turns right around? The answer is you got to wait a few days. I mean, I know that sucks because people get impatient, but we want to see if what we talked about was that conversion process. Does the resistance level convert into support? Resistance here, resistance here. If it converts into support, it'll consolidate, and that will set the stage, hopefully, for another move higher. You have to remember, markets do not move straight up. Markets go down a lot faster than they go up, as you can see here, because selling comes from fear, and fear is a stronger emotion than hope, and buying comes from hope. But we can see here this fundamental of what was resistance converts into support. This is, call it the 630 level. And again, it's not perfect. If it was perfect, if it was a chess game, the computers would have figured it out by now. We can see here that levels around 725 turned into support. All right. So now if I was long Tesla, or if I was considering a position on Tesla and I didn't own it, I would wait a few days to see if this 765 level converts into support. And today's low trade was 766.18. So, I mean, for a stock that's in at $700, the $700 range, that's a pretty accurate call to be within a dollar. So if I'm looking at Tesla and if I don't own it and I want to buy it, I'm going to wait to see if this turns into support. If it does, I'll buy it. If I'm a short-term trader, you may want to just wait and see if this this support breaks, because if it does, could get a pretty quick move down. It's another fundamental market principle that markets go down faster than they go up. It may seem, I don't know, innocuous or not important, but it's actually very important, because it shows again that charting is understanding supply and demand principles. When things are going down, people are panicking, so they just throw out the stock, right? So stocks typically always go down. Well, typically go down faster than they go up. So we can see here, big sell-off, but then the move higher is a series of various trading ranges. So we have, this level, then this level wasn't as precise. But for our intents and purposes for education, it shows a good dynamic. So this level was resistance, it turned into support. So if I'm a Tesla person, I am watching this 763 level. If the level converts into support, good for the stock, positive, the uptrend will continue. If the level doesn't convert into support over the next few days, there's a good chance it makes a meaningful move lower.
All right, guys, and we're about 8 minutes to the hour here. I want to have some time for some Q&A. And Mark, I know you got to get prepared for the lesson in the morning. For everyone that's tuning in, that's absolutely new to trading, do you have any final remarks or words of wisdom for them?
You're asking me? Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool when Rodrigo talked about losing money on the Nigerians. And I think the takeaway is, if you're bald, you shouldn't have a ponytail.
Oh, come on. That's my plan for the future. That's my fallback, man.
All right. Well, I actually wrote that in my notes. I've been waiting for like an hour to say that. Do I have any final words? Yes and no. The final words are, it doesn't really need to be that complicated. You don't have to worry about magical strategies or mythical charts. If you understand that you look at charts through the prism of what does it show in the terms of the supply and demand dynamics, you can profit. Now, I'm going to give you a really quick analogy before we end. But I like this analogy of the medieval market. So pretend it's in the year 900 and we're in the Dark Ages, and we're in some market in Europe where all the farmers come to sell their goods to the other farmers that might need them because they don't grow them. So say there's one road into town, and a merchant or a trader sends a spy out to look at what's coming into town. And they notice that on the supply wagons, there's no apples. So this merchant will understand, gee, there's going to be a lack of supply of apples in the market. So this merchant does not necessarily need to be an apple expert or an apple grower or an apple scientist. They just can see that there's going to be a temporary lack of supply of apples. So the merchant goes back to the market, quietly goes around without freaking anyone out, buys up all the apples. Then when the supply trains or supply wagons get to the market, all the other merchants see, oh, gee, there's no apples. And the people that wanted to buy apples know that they have to pay a higher price. So this merchant, just out of its shrewdness of understanding the supply and demand dynamics of the apples, turns around and takes the apples they bought and sells them to these other merchants at a higher price. So the point of this analogy is this merchant doesn't know anything about apples, but they understand supply and demand. And because of that, they were able to make money. And that's what we're looking for when we look at these charts. We're looking at supply and demand imbalances, because when something's out of equilibrium, that's where opportunity presents itself to make money.
Beautiful, beautiful allegory. Thank you very, very much, Mark. You go ahead and get some rest and prepare for class bright and early. I will be there with you for our class. And I see, I think it's Gian. And Gian, forgive me if I'm saying your name wrong. I'll see you there because we've got some students here in chat. So thank you guys for coming here to support us and get some more education out of the day. Very, very dedicated people. And I can tell you that's what makes the difference between people that just have like a little flash in the pan hobby and people that start making money.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in, and I'm going to sign off, and I guess I will see you tomorrow morning at 7:00 Eastern time.
There we go. All right. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Neil. Talk to you tomorrow.
See ya. All right, guys, now it's time to hang out with Rodrigo and Neil. Rodrigo, what do we got? We've got a couple folks on YouTube saying that they got in. Troy, welcome. Lola, welcome. And William, I think you're thinking about it. SK is thinking about it. I just want to say welcome, congratulations, welcome to the family. Remember that thing, that image that we shared at the very beginning? I should pull that back up. It's about trading together. It's about lifting each other up and having a consistent strategy for success, for making money in the markets. Let me get a little screen share here going. Rodrigo, what is on your mind, sir?
Well, number one, this was a pretty cool session. Obviously, it gets hot in the class. That's a totally different Mark. Obviously, he's been teaching all day, so I get it. But I do want to make a shout out here to all the developers, the coders that have worked so hard to bring you guys this platform, especially Vin. And as far as who this is for, look, you can work 9 to 5. You can live in Taiwan, India. It doesn't matter. I've signed up people from all over the world. The classes are uploaded as soon as they finish them, and you get an email with it. So ease of access, right? But remember, right, you need the tools, you need the education, you need to treat trading as a career. You need to take it seriously, right? Because you could either make a lot of money or lose a lot of money. That's what running a business is. So if you want to run a successful business, you need to have not only the tools, but take it seriously, right? When you start a business, you don't half-ass that. You really need to go hard for it. You really need to take it seriously if you want to be successful. If you want to fail, that's on you, but we want everybody to succeed here. So take it seriously like a career. This education that you're taking here, you're not going to find it in college. You're not going to find it anywhere because it doesn't exist. We brought a former hedge fund manager who's managed over $1 billion in his account under Steve Cohen or Mario Gabelli with a 20-year CMT background. This is the teacher that you want to have. Remember, you can't go by the headlines. You can't trade the headlines. If you're trying to trade something that's on CNBC, it's too late. And that's why retail is holding the bag all the time. So instead of doing this, we start making educated trades, right? We need to make informed financial decisions. If we don't do them for ourselves, somebody else will do them for us. That means that you're going to be left holding the bag. And no education means emotional trading. Why? Because if we don't know what's going on, if we don't have a process, if we're not trained to trade and understand and stomach what the stock market is, you're going to fall back to the basic human emotions, fear, fight or flight kind of mentality. And you kind of have that seller's remorse that Mark was talking about. But keep in mind that education is a lifelong process. If somebody gave you a class on the market in 2020, it's completely irrelevant in 2022, 21, or 23, because we're living in a different market, different world. Everything changes. So obviously all the classes are going to be updated as the market continues to change. And that is, that's the flow of it, right? Because you need to have that open mindset mentality when it comes to learning. You can't think that just because the market was a certain way in the 70s, it's going to be the same way in 2020. So remember also that Benzinga, we are focused on retail. This service, this educational course is meant for retail traders. Yes, there are a few equity firms, few investment advisors that I've signed up, but I'm not going to mention banks. But for the most part, we're looking at retail traders at all levels, because even if you've been doing it for 20 years, nothing says you've been doing it successfully, consistently for 20 years. So ultimately, guys, you need to get the education when you start. This thing is kind of like, when a tree is growing, if you don't fix it when it's growing bent, when it's starting to grow, eventually you won't be able to fix it because it's too big already. And the analogy I'm making is because the education, the earlier you get it, the better. That's why we go to school when we're like little babies, because that way you can build on these blocks of knowledge, and your learning curve, instead of staying flat or probably negative with all the negative info, all the misinformation out there, you're going to see your learning curve just start going up a lot faster, and you will know better, because it all comes down to making more profitable trades. We need to take into account that not every trade will work. That is life as well, right? Not everything works out as you want it. But if you prepare yourself, if you have the proper education, background, analysis, you will be more successful than not. And that's what it comes down to. So the other thing I see a lot is the vacuum trading thing. I coined this term about 5-6 months ago. It seems like a lot of people relate to it, where it's like we're just trading. And I'm a trader, by the way, if you didn't know. But like, back in the day, I was just trading on my own, had a bunch of monitors, really just listening to Benzinga Pro and all that stuff, my scanners there. And it really felt like a vacuum. And until I actually, got with the Benzinga Pro staff and the community there, you could tell that there is a very strong community. There's a very solid community of retail traders that are pretty much nationwide that help each other out. More importantly, you guys being in the trading school, you have the best environment to do this, because you have people from all different levels that, maybe you have a gap here in knowledge and Joe over there might know a little bit about it. So we all help each other. There's no trader left behind here. And you have to remind yourself right now, in the present, your future self would basically tell you to do this and get the education. Basically, he would tell you, do yourself a favor and don't make me broke. Get the education, because your wallet will thank you. And also, it's cool to understand how the market works. All the participants of the market really understand analysis of charts, because if you can't read a chart, you have no business asking about calls or puts, because otherwise you're just going to lose more money. So the first thing, it's like the footwork to a boxer, right? If you're boxing and you don't have footwork, you're screwed. You're a sitting duck. So what this means is that if you're trying to jump ahead and start doing calls and puts where you're risking 100% of the trade and you cannot read a chart accurately, you will blow up your account. It's happened to me twice, and I'm obviously it's no reason to brag to say this, but it's really to be honest with you guys and tell you that you can do it two ways. You can do it the YOLO way, the wing it way, the way that I've already tried it and didn't work, or you can start the right way with the right education, with the right mentorship from Mark Putrino. Because if you're just going by YouTube University, as far as like, oh, support and resistance, and that's all in your head, there's so much more that goes behind the scenes that, you can't really compare a CMT, a 2-decade CMT, to a YouTube University graduate from technicals. So do you want to take it seriously? You need to learn from people that are real professionals, right? Not YouTubers who just want views and likes. When it comes to your money, you need to be a little bit more serious about it. And by that, I mean finding the right community. And I don't blame you if you haven't found, the trading school just launched recently, but nothing like this really existed. Now that we have something like this is basically an outreach so that we can possibly save some of you guys from blowing up your account, because I get those calls and honestly, I don't like them, but I wish I would get the call before they even go into the market with 200 grand or 100 grand, because you can lose that in 1 second. The market does not care if that's your pension. It doesn't care if it's your mom's savings or grandmother's savings, if you mortgage the house. The market doesn't care about any of that. And as soon as you start understanding the language that the market speaks, that's when you're going to start connecting the dots. Like many times you're going to be looking at a chart and you might think it's going to keep going up forever. Have you ever thought about changing the time frames and really doing some analysis on daily, weeklies, or 4-hour charts? And then like all of that stuff doesn't come into our head because we're just looking at the chart. We see that the stock is going up, and we just our instinct tells us it's going to keep going up. So you always have to put your risk management hat on, right? And understand the risk reward ratio. Do your analysis before you jump into trade. Don't just buy, don't chase headlines. You need to start doing your own research, do your own analysis, get your feedback from Mark. There's literally nobody better for you to get a trade feedback from anybody than from Mark, because he has the technical experience. And the reason why we say technical is because most people in retail understand the word technical analysis. In reality, it's equilibrium analysis. That's how people in Wall Street do call it. And that gives you an edge, right? That's the word on Wall Street. You need to have edge. If you don't have edge, you got nothing. That's why you got pro, and you got the mentor who's been in the big leagues. And ultimately, everybody that is here in Benzinga is a verified trader. There's no bots. There's no fake profiles like you have on Reddit or StockTwits or any of these pump and dump chats. And if you follow those, you will like go to zero very quick. It doesn't work. I've tried it. But yeah, this is the largest community of educated retail traders. And that's our goal. That's what we want to do. Benzinga is for retail traders, but it's not just about that. It's about helping you get whatever you want, right? You're trading for a reason. Maybe you just like the markets. There's an end goal to what you're doing here. And we're trying to do our best to basically get you there. We know there's a lot of misinformation out there about trading, a lot of kids talking about stocks on YouTube and TikTok. When it comes to money, I don't know about you, but I don't trust any of these gurus. I only trust people that have verified results, who've been in the industry, who are well known in the industry, like Mark Putrino. When you're talking about money, you just don't want to follow the crowd. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of people fall into. They follow the crowd, and following the crowd is really where you're going to get hurt the most, because those trades are already way crowded. And guess what? If you didn't know, hedge funds literally are looking for trending stocks on top StockTwits. They're looking for all these stocks because they're the easiest shorts. Why? Because they know that retail is very emotional, and they cut the bag when they're down so much. So you need to have a plan when you're trading, and don't just trade whatever's trending. That's probably a good short idea, but that's what people do. So, they see a lot of Reddit traders on a certain stock. They know it's an easy short because retail is gonna fold, basically, right? They have a lot more money. They have a lot more power. They can move the markets for decades if they want to. So the only thing that we can do as retail traders is ride the wave up or down, wherever it goes. But for that, we do need to know how to read the language of the charts. So get your winning trades. And remember that we're here to build trust with you guys. We understand that, retail has been banged up around by a lot of these different places out there. So this is basically like your safe zone, where you know that you have a great environment to learn, a great environment to get to know other traders, get to know Mark Putrino, really work on your strategy and get all of your questions answered, because we're all in different levels and stages in our trading, but we all are trying to improve at the same time. So it's beautiful to see that, to see the progress. I know a lot of people here that I've already made some banger trades just from the 2 classes from Mark. So it is good to see that, guys, because at the end of the day, if you're doing the whole vacuum trading thing, it doesn't work out, man. You're literally just talking to yourself all day and reading headlines on CNBC, and that's total account destruction. Once you start linking up with a real mentor with decades of experience, who's been basically a chief market technician, right? He's the person that says when to buy, when to sell, when to go long, when to short, how to pace in, how to pace out. Basically the person in charge of the buying and sell button. So as a trader, it doesn't matter if you're doing options. It doesn't matter if you're doing crypto. It doesn't matter if you're doing futures. It doesn't matter if you're trading rice, corn, cow, whatever. At the end of the day, it's people behind a computer clicking buy and clicking sell. And once you understand the market behavior and you start really knowing how to read a chart, it's not just looking at the candlesticks. There's so much more behind that. So once you really start getting deeper and deeper and deeper into the whole equilibrium analysis, the technical analysis, that's when things are going to start connecting better. And you're going to find yourself making sure that, oh, well, that looked like, you could even test yourself, test your skills, right? Look at a random stock and do your analysis and, make your prediction. And if you're right, well, maybe you're doing things right. If not, you can literally go ask Mark in the chat room. Just so you know, it's live trade. You feel free to throw in your trading picks there. Feel free to ask any questions that you have here in the chat room. It's literally for you guys to make it whatever you want it to be. And it does help a lot because there's a lot of people that are new. So having Mark available there is great. Also, there's office hours if you guys did not know, but yeah, you got to take this seriously. It's like a career. You're literally either going to go into a successful road which is not, it doesn't happen by accident. You need to put in time, you need to put in effort, you need to work hard to become successful. If you take the easy road, if you take the follow the crowd road, if you take the buy whatever's trending on StockTwits road, you will get hurt. It's a fact, like guaranteed. So our goal is for you guys to be successful, and we have to be honest about how things are in the market. When it comes to money, you have to be as honest as possible and as transparent as possible. And that's why we're giving you guys as much education as we can, because we know I get the calls. Okay. And it's about time that somebody stepped up to the plate, that being Benzinga, helping retail traders, because for the most part, everybody just wants to leave retail holding the bag, right? CNBC and all this stuff. There's nobody for retail except Benzinga. And that's why we're here. That's why we're outreaching to you guys, because we know that you got the short end of the stick in the markets, right? The markets weren't created for retail. They were created to manage pension funds, bonds, government, all that stuff. It wasn't meant for you and me to get in there. So obviously it's not tilted in our favor. So very recently now, a lot of retail traders have joined the market. And what big money likes to do is to just maybe pump up a stock and then they just sell it to retail when it's at the top. Then you see the headline in CNBC and then you buy, they sell to you. And that's literally a process. They wash up retail traders, right? You just joined the market, you started trading the headlines, and then you got washed out. And then somebody else is going to join the market, trade the headlines, and get washed out. And that is a process that has been going on for decades and decades and decades. And that is what we're trying to change here. We're trying to help retail traders. And we're giving you the tools, and there's no reason to make anything complicated. Like Mark was saying, a lot of people in the industry will make things sound a little bit more complicated because they want to charge you high fees. It's that simple. I work in finance. That's what people in finance do. So as a trader now, me talking to you as a trader, if you really have the right connections, if you really surround yourself with the right community of traders, you will have a totally different experience than I did. So there was no trading school when I started. There was none of this stuff. Reddit wasn't even a thing. And it really was vacuum trading. So I'm very thankful that with Benzinga, we're able to offer this to you guys, because it's better for you to get it from the source, get it from the people that have been there. Like Mark's managed over $1 billion in his account under Steve Cohen. I don't know anybody else I want to talk to at this point, to be honest. So being experienced in the other side of the trade, right? It's one thing for you to talk to retail traders and, among retail traders talk. But if you haven't talked to somebody who's been inside a huge hedge fund or inside one of these huge firms that really moves markets, you really don't know that side of the coin. You're missing half of the equation. And not knowing that, I mean, not a lot of people in retail know it, to be honest, unless you have been in these funds yourself. So being that Mark is so open, he's an honest man, transparent, loves teaching, very passionate about helping students. That's a huge plus, because it is somebody who has the experience under his belt in all the sides that you would want it to, not just trading, but a real money manager. And I mean, you can go and try to find an equity firm or something like that manage your account, and you're going to be paying 10, 20, 30, 40% in fees, and you don't even know what they're doing. So you might as well learn how to do this with this education. That's why we're making this available to the public, because these investment firms, they obviously don't want it to be public. They don't want you to get educated. They want to do it for you, right? Give me your money and I'll talk to you in 1 year. That's pretty much how it works.
Yeah, and Rodrigo, I missed a bunch of names. I want you to get that air horn ready. I'm gonna go in like reverse order because I missed a bunch. So we've got F Concepcion. Welcome. And I put a little flavor on the pronunciation there. This is coming off the emails. I'm not trying to dox you. Welcome to Benzinga Trading School. Congratulations. 616. Welcome to Benzinga Trading School. Congratulations. You are going to become a better trader. M Cannon 7, B Molzen, Ali Saeed, Troy Moore Jr. You're about to learn how to be a better trader. You're about to learn how to trade. Sophia MG42, Omi Mouse, BCG, Titor 1017. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the Zinger Nation, the Benzinga Trading family.
Round of applause. Round of applause for all the new members there, guys.
Let's go. Let's go. And I'm not done yet. Bamara 813, Janine. Jane Enterprises. Welcome. Good to have some entrepreneurs, some business owners in here. Gregory, and our most recent one, L Thomas 9. I'm not going to put that zip code. I think that's a zip code in your email address. But welcome. You are going to learn how to trade. Welcome to Benzinga Trading School. I will see you in the morning. Now, Rodrigo, guys, what questions do you have? We are here to answer your questions. I see so many of you are sticking here with us. I'm assuming that means you have a dedication and a strong interest in this. And I can tell you that if you're going to get good at something, you've got to be interested. And I don't think you'd be here today if you didn't have that interest. So the next thing that you need is a clear path to put that interest into practice, to learn how to apply that. And that's what we're here to do. We're all stoked. We love the markets. We're all here to make money, get good at it, and trade together. What were you going to say, Rodrigo?
I was going to say, let's play a game. Ask your question, and we're just going to try to like rapid style answer all of them. Like,
ask us any question. So I see some questions already. How does this course work for folks that are on the West Coast? Join live classes at 4 a.m. or watch recorded sessions? Yeah, exactly. Cool. And then that's exactly it. And we're also considering alternating between 7 a.m. and 12 p.m. Eastern time to make it easier for folks that are in different time zones. How soon are the recorded classes uploaded? Immediately after we hit end on the live recording. Explain how this works with somebody who only has a $200 account. As long as you are protecting your capital by knowing your levels and applying smart stop losses and good entries, you will grow an account. That's how trading works. And we will make sure that you're not doing it a dumb way by following lottery tickets. We don't follow lottery tickets around here. All right. We look for good entries and we protect our asses. That's how we make money in the markets. I assume offshore brokers that allow small account. Yeah, sure. The brokerage is up to you. That you can use whatever brokerage you want to actually execute trades. We're here to help you find the trades and know how to make them. Do we get level 2 with Benzinga Pro? No, not yet, but it's coming. Do members trade together?
Hell yeah. I know that one.
Yes.
I know that one.
Yeah, yeah. Feel free to jump in, Rodrigo. What's the recommended stop loss percentage? 10% is the absolute maximum, but it's based on levels. We don't just throw out a percentage there. You guys need to know how to look from to the left, go to the history of the price to pick your stop loss. And we're going to make sure you know how with confidence. You're going to know why you do what you do. Why don't you guys trade full time? I do.
I trade too.
Yeah, I trade. I trade every morning. I start at 8 a.m. and I'm pretty much done by a little bit after 10 a.m. Eastern time. And it depends on what I have to do for Benzinga for like my day job. And then I pick back up at 3:30 or 3:45 Eastern. And those are the busiest, most volume rich times for trading. So I have a full-time job at Benzinga and I love it. And I get to build the cool stuff like this for you guys with Rodrigo. And then I also get to trade as much as I want. And it's awesome. I love my life. My life is dope. You should join me. How do I get started? Kay, I'm dropping the link in chat. And
call Rodrigo.
Call Rodrigo. Yeah. Yeah. Rodrigo wants to talk to you. So how do you get started? Kay, just scroll down. You should be able to see the link there for you. And then do traders use Benzinga Pro with other paid services, or is it the only trade tool needed? Some folk, really, really advanced folks who have been trading for like 40 years and are really set in their ways, might have some other stuff that they use, but Benzinga Pro is designed to be the best damn due diligence tool on the planet, and it's got like every single thing you can possibly need in it. It's like it's the kitchen
way
sink.
way
It's
more
got-
than what
it's
they
got
even
more-
need. Yeah.
If you have a solid system, there's no way in hell that you're using every single feature in Benzinga Pro. People that have a solid system they're sticking to, you're probably using just one or two parts of Benzinga Pro. So yeah, is it the only tool you need? Yes, you just need a brokerage so you can execute trades in addition to that. Option sweep. How do I proceed with a recommendation? An option sweep is not a recommendation. An option sweep is an indication that someone with a lot of money closed out a bunch, or that's not the right phrase to use, executed a whole bunch of options trades across different exchanges. All right. And that tells you that someone with a bunch of money, who's probably someone that has insider information, maybe about half the time, has a very high conviction about what may happen. And that's something that you use to develop a thesis on a trade. But that's pretty advanced stuff. And you don't need to know that right now if that's too advanced for you. But we're happy to teach you how to use it. That's in Benzinga Pro. So why work for Benzinga then? Because they pay well and they let me trade. That's it.
Hey, it's passion. It's passion, man. You know, for me, it really started like a passion for trading because I like finance. I love finance and I love understanding the markets and when it all makes sense in my head. But that's just me, right? Some people really just want to make a trade and make a little bit of money here and there. But
Yep.
it really has become a passion for helping people, for helping other traders, because I have access to a lot of mentors, a lot of educational material and content here. And obviously I can't share it, but yeah, I that's why we were doing the trading school, because we want you guys to have the access to all of these tools that really help you with trading. And that's my passion personally.
And something I'll add to that is we build tools that we want to use. So like
Yeah.
half
we
of the
put in
stuff that
tickets
goes,
for that.
yeah, like half of the stuff that goes into Benzinga Pro is like, yeah, we get community recommendations. What you guys as users, paying subscribers, all of that ask for, you get. We build it. Anyone that's here in trading school knows that many of the things you have asked for. Really quick, trying to call the number provided to register, but no answer. That's because that's Rodrigo's number, and he's here on the webinar with me. He's right here. So waiting until he's done.
Yeah, we're turning up here. We're having fun. Come on, guys.
There you go. Okay. So how much money in the markets your previous students made after taking the course? The course started on Monday. So they'll let you know. If Jean is still here, she'll let you know at the end of next week. How about that? The course just started, guys. Do you guys trade with the students? Yes. Yep. Absolutely. What trading execution programs do you use? Do you and Rodrigo use or prefer? It's up in there. I like TD Ameritrade. I like TD Ameritrade because I like a few. I have accounts with TD Ameritrade and with Tastyworks. I like Tastyworks because it has really good visualization for option spreads, which is something that Nick Shaheen has taught me how to do. And I do that. I like TD Ameritrade because they are just really good for visual execution, and it's just very reliable. Most traders are on TD Ameritrade. What about you, Rodrigo? What's your favorite brokerage?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I love Webull because it lets me trade at 4 a.m. and I have 5G on my phone. All right, I'm just gonna drop a knowledge bomb here for you guys, just out of like. I just want to share things tonight. Okay. So I'm going to share you some of the things that I've been able to like pinpoint. So different brokerages, they have their platforms, which, you know, they'll tell you it's real time, but there is like a 30-40 second delay in the charts. Now I have 5G on my phone and I use Webull so I can look at it on my phone. I know there's a platform on the computer, but the computer is always going to have slower internet than my 5G phone. So being that it's 5G and I can look at the charts, that is literally like microsecond to microsecond movement, which gives me better entries. So that's why I use my phone specifically to put in the trade. When it comes to doing my technical research, analysis, chart reading, whatever you call it, I do that inside Benzinga Pro, fundamental research inside Pro, peer competitor research inside Pro, financials, calculate PE ratios, get the short float, all that stuff. I do it in Pro. When it comes to execute the trade, I use Webull because I get better fills with my phone. There you go, guys.
Yeah. So the fills are really important. That's something that you get into. Like I run into that all the time. What I like to do when I talked about trading in the morning, I'm scalping options. If you know what scalping means, that means like in and out in like 30 minutes, very quickly, on small percentage moves on stocks. I trade a small group of stocks, and I'm scalping those options. And I'm looking for good fills on my brokerage, which means when I want to buy or sell an options contract, I expect it to happen, not waiting or getting denied and all that kind of stuff while the price moves on me. Okay. Gene is here. Gene, can you just tell me if it's Gene or Jeanne? I see you on YouTube. Can you give me the phonetic pronunciation? Thank you for popping in. How unusual options can be included? I only trade options. Well, if you know what unusual options activity is, then you know that it doesn't really help you trade options necessarily. Unusual options activity. Let me give you an example. When there's options are public knowledge. When an options trade is made, it's printed on the tape and everyone knows that what trade was made. They don't know who did it though. It's anonymous, but they know what trade was made. You don't get that with stocks. With stocks, you just know how many shares were traded. You don't know how many by which entities and all of that. With options, you know that a single entity bought or sold calls and puts in what volume, what strike price, and which expiration date. And so when there's a big surge in that activity, it triggers our unusual options activity scanner and says, hey, someone just put millions of dollars into a bet or a hedge against a certain position. Look into it. That's what that means. And an example of just kind of how that works, a real life example, and this is just real. This is reality. This has happened. The Nigerian brothers wrote this in their book, which is called, I think, Follow the Smart Money. 3 days, something like that, before the tragedy of 9/11, before the airplanes tragically flew into the Twin Towers, there were massive unusual option spikes on puts on the airlines. Massive. That was because the people connected to and who were part of the terrorist organizations who put together that attack funded the attack with those trades, knowing that it was going to happen. We don't know who did it, but we saw that it happened. So that means the unusual options activity, that's just one case where a lot of times it's bad actors. It can be politicians, it could be insiders, people with inside knowledge who are making big outsized bets. And that's what we use to get an edge in the market. Okay. So yada, 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 yada. Robert says, Rodrigo, you're awesome. This class sounds like it can assist with education and managing your own investment accounts. Yeah. I mean, it's taught by a former portfolio manager, a former institutional trader. That's, yeah, you want to, you can try to have a $200 account. You can have a $200 million account. All of these principles still apply and will protect your capital and teach you how to find opportunities to make money. Which stocks am I scalping? I'm looking at Unity, ticker U. I'm looking at Palantir, ticker PLTR. I'm looking at SPY, of course, SPY all the time. QQQ, the NASDAQ 100 ETF all the time. I'm trying to think, what else am I looking at? Airbnb. Those are Airbnb. Those have been my tickers for trading, long positions, swing trades, investments, and scalping over the past, I don't know, like month or so, something like that. And then I have some other tickers that don't have very liquid options market. So I'm just common stocks on those. That's like ticker LAC. Lithium Americas has been great. And ticker MTTR, I hold leaps on that one. I'm long on that. Average monthly percentage gains or losses over the last year. I haven't reviewed for the trailing 365 days nor 2021 to date, but my target is to grow my portfolio by 1% a day. So just do the math on growing your portfolio by 1% a day. That's an exponential curve. There are days that I'm down. There are days that I'm up more than 1%, but I strive for an average of 1%. Hold up. I was thinking about signing up for Benzinga Pro 50% off, but this deal includes classes for about the same price. Yeah, Pat, think about it. You got the link right there. Both of you guys are awesome. Thank you, Robert. How many indicators can you have on the Benzinga Pro chart? I'm not sure if there's a limit.
As many as you want.
I would say, but if you've got more than 5, you should slow down. All right. Real traders look at price and volume and call it a day. Let me put it that way.
100%. Yes.
The indicators are training wheels. Okay. Can you elaborate on leaps? Leaps are when you buy an options contract that expires at least 1 year from the day that you buy it. Right. So it's one way to take a long position without, instead of buying stocks, I put $2,000 into call contracts so I can collect that cha-cha. What's up, Rodrigo?
Just really quick, because I know a lot of people just join here or just joining, and I just want to at least like recap a little bit of what this is, because some people might be like, just what are these guys doing? Just talking about like picks and stuff. But just talking with the chat all day about trades. All right, guys, just to recap here what we did. This was a little sneak peek of Benzinga Trading School that went live Monday. I believe that was yesterday. And Mark Putrino is the instructor, former hedge fund manager under Steve Cohen. Mario Gabelli managed an account over $1 billion. CMT, chartered market technician for 2 decades. This is a professional chart reader. This is not a YouTube University chart reader. This is a professional chart reader that's worked at high level institutions, high performance level institutions, managing big money. So for retail, this is a gift for you guys. So you also get Benzinga Pro included. Yes, it is a very sweet deal. The links are all in the chat. I believe this expires at midnight. We opened enrollment. I believe it's just, I don't know how long we're going to keep the enrollment open, but in the meantime, today it is open. So yeah, you get Pro and you renew at the same price. So even if, you know, the price goes back to 4,000 or 5,000, which is what it normally was, you will keep that price that you pay for today. So just to clarify on that, this is a Benzinga Trading School. You have you meet 3 times a day. You have office hours. You have a live trading chat room with Mark Putrino. You can create study groups and stuff. Like, this is full on educational trading and, you know, helping retail traders. Just to recap for the people that just joined, Neil.
Good. And we're going to ask for the link is Thales. I got you. And welcome to the school, IB Curly. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the family. Where's that air horn, baby? You got the link right there. All right. And then, okay, so I dropped that link for you, Thales. Rodrigo, do you have any recent big wins? And guys, we're not advertising wins. There's no guarantee that you're going to get here and make wins.
Yeah.
The way this is about making consistent income and knowing why it's happening. All right. It's about being a consistent money maker. Big wins that get advertised on TikTok and Twitter and on Reddit and stuff like that are not something you should go out and hunt for. You should let them come to you. That's what real traders do. And when they come, yes, you brag about it. Just like Rodrigo shoots me messages and says, hey, man, you want to know what I just did? And he lets them come to him, right? We don't go hunting for these. They just come occasionally. So Rodrigo, what's a recent one that you've had?
So I'm going to go as recent as like 20 minutes ago, and I'm going to go as recent as like last week. Okay. So it's a little time frame. All right. So with the firm, I had weekly calls. I sold them for like 120%. I sold and I bought them again for the month. So I did go a little bit far out and I'm still holding those calls. However, I did make a trade as we were here. I don't know if you can pull up the Pro, Neil, but you guys do know that Benzinga Pro has the only pre-market and aftermarket scanner and all that stuff. So, and your watch list as well. If you are using any other sort of brokerage, which I'm not going to name, you're only going to see if it's up 5% during 9 to 4 p.m. That is the number you're going to see there, even after market, even pre-market the next day. So you're not seeing the price action during the aftermarket hours or pre-market hours. So I was looking at a firm. I literally was talking about a firm here like an hour ago. If you pull up the chart for a firm, that's the scanner, by the way, guys, what Neil is showing you guys. I'm doing it. Okay. So as we were talking on a firm, if we can pull up the beautiful chart that we have there and go to the most recent.
Oh, damn, this looks so good. This is exactly the type of stock I like to be trading. Rounding bottom. All right, tell me what you want.
Let's do the give me the 1 minute, Neil. The 1 minute chart.
Oh shit, we're day trading.
Well, I was scalping after hours while you guys were talking about this.
While we were working on the lesson, you were trading, all right?
Literally, when it was flat at that level before that jump is when we were talking about a firm. So I just put in a quick trade there.
Jesus.
But that is an important technical level. If you do look back on the chart, that's an important technical level from the actual regular trading hours. So and they actually just released, they had a call today. Apparently, if you don't know, a firm is going to go into crypto. So you're going to be able to buy crypto from a firm and a whole bunch of other stuff, debit cards, all that stuff. So, yeah, I trade options. I buy the stock as well. I like, in order for me to do this, I need the right tools. If I'd be on another brokerage, I would not know about this. And when you're looking at 15 stocks, 50, 100, you're sleeping, man, if you don't get these tools, to be honest. So it's not about, being there's no such like guru or anything like that. It's all about the tools. The people at equity firms, they're not demigods. They just spend millions of dollars in research. And if you are like trying to get the free pass against somebody who spends millions on research, you're not going to be on the good side of the trade. But that's a firm that's what I've been in. I'm a real bull on a firm because of the actual company, what they do, buy now, pay later. My background is in commercial lending. So I do know finance and the lending side of it. They are in the personal lending side and they're expanding into other sides. They just got the Amazon partnership. Apparently Apple is not going to be able to, I think before Apple only let people use Apple Pay for financing options. So yes. I don't know where the verdict came from, where the case was, but apparently they're going to have to give people other payment options, which is a firm. So I do a little mix of technicals, fundamentals, and momentum. I look at momentum, but momentum, to trade momentum, you need to be able to read a chart. And I get leverage with options. So, that's just my style of trading. I have a different risk profile than probably a lot of you here. But everybody has their own way of trading. So that's what I've been in,
and Rodrigo, can I be a nerd really quick with my little technical analysis?
Yeah.
All right, let's get technical with Neil. So I'm looking at this trade. I just want to show you guys something really cool, and this is something that we'll cover. Current students, we haven't gotten to this class yet. We'll cover this in the patterns class. But Rodrigo very astutely pointed out that this area right here, where a firm was trading really flat, and this is after hours. Really flat area, but look how perfectly flat it is. I'm just going to bring my line up here and I'm going to mark that level of support and see that it is relevant support. All right. And then when we broke out of this downward trend, look at this downward trend right here. It was trading down, down, down. The highs were getting lower and lower and lower. So you can see that right here. Let me draw a line tool. It continues from this previous high. Now, if I bring this up to our support, and I move this away, I already can see that we're breaking out of this downward trend, all right? The breakout's happening. Now that breakout starts to look like a nice rounded bottom, all right? This is looking like something I want to buy. Now, how am I going to set my price target? Well, I'm going to look to the left. When in doubt, look to the left, guys. And in the past, this was the previous level of resistance right here. We call this the neckline on a rounded bottom. Now, someone asked before, how do I set a price target? Well, when you know patterns, you're really good at setting price targets because the price target for a rounded bottom is the price difference between this neckline and this base of that rounded bottom, this support line. So I'm just going to take another line, draw it vertically to measure the difference between those two. I'm going to add it to that neckline, that previous place of resistance. I'm going to turn it sideways. And that's exactly the price target. That's how you set a price target for an after hours option scalp. Baby.
Feels like magic. It's like,
that's how it works. That's we love it. We love it. And all it takes is a solid base of understanding. You set a stop loss. There's no guarantee that it's going to happen. But when it happens, you know what to look for. And when it doesn't happen, that's when you're setting that stop loss. You're always protecting capital all the way. And yes, Rodrigo and I come with the platform.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Having a strategy, like literally not just, be gambling around. Like when I'm putting a trade, like I am scouting that chart. Like I have my work stuff, but I also have something for trading, which is where I run my pro all day. I wake up very early so I can scan the markets so that I can make trades early in the morning, which is what some people do. Honestly, like for the most part, that's when the most volume is there. So some people really just trade, 9 to 10 a.m. and they call it a day, right? That's when the majority of the price action comes, those violent whips,
Yep. That's why my trade is like, the question is, well, do you guys trade full time? Well, yeah, but it's like, I'm not trading for 8 hours a day.
Yeah, that's over trading. And that's what kills accounts.
Exactly right. I'm in and I'm out and I'm done. All right. Green account, I'm done. I don't overtrade. Robert says trading with you guys would be a blast. It really
We might
would.
do that. We should do that, Neil.
That's why you should join. That's why you should join. I mean, the Rodrigo and Neil trading show. We should really do that on YouTube. That would be fun. Let's talk about that offline.
Right.
Are you guys on voice every day as well as Mark? I'm on with Mark every morning and every afternoon. And Rodrigo's a special bonus.
I'm in the background. I'm just listening. I never come in.
Honestly, pretty much everyone at Benzinga is lurking in the classroom because everyone's kind of taking classes with us right now. So we really mean it. You're joining the Benzinga family when you get in trading school.
This is a family. Let's just emphasize on that for a moment, guys. Like, we truly care about your long-term success. Like, there's a reason why we're really transparent about everything, guys, because this is for you. It's meant to help you. And we're traders. Like, we're not actors or anything like that. Like, we're actual real traders that just love what we do.
Absolutely. I mean, hopefully you guys are picking up on it. We really mean it. We're trying to be authentic, and I was not kidding. We're traders and we make these tools for us. There's a lot of satisfaction in it working once it's made, and then seeing that it works for other people. Super cool. I cannot tell you how different Benzinga is today than from the way it was about 3.5 years ago when I joined. Completely different. Now we've got this big burgeoning community. We've got these awesome new technology platforms. We have more data going into them than ever before. It is extremely exciting. It's really, really a fantastic time to be part of the Benzinga family.
Yeah, a lot of people just joined the family as well. So congratulations, guys. Can we just give everybody a warm welcome? Like, can you guys just welcome everybody there on the chat? Like, just type welcome, welcome, welcome. So everybody feels like part of the family.
Yes. Type it right in there. Welcome to the BZ family. Welcome.
Super sexy. Momo. IB Curly. That's an interesting name. IB Curly.
Yeah, I like how that plays out.
Yeah. Fernam, CT Ford. Welcome, guys.
Yep. And Christopher with the 4 welcomes. Very exuberant welcomes. I love it.
Welcome your new family members, your new trading family members.
Absolutely right. Can't wait for Thanksgiving. It's going to be out of control. Everyone's going to be talking about stocks at Thanksgiving.
About the trading school. Oh, you heard about the trading school?
Yeah. What have you been doing all year? Oh, well. I decided I really want to take the classes. Do I need to cancel my trading view before signing up since it's already in the Benzinga Pro? No, it would be completely separate, SK. Why don't you, it's totally up to you. Why don't you keep both and see what works? I'm not here to tell you to cancel anything. We love trading view. So we love it so much. We built it into all of our platforms. So I want my okay. I don't know what that means, Kay. Did you misspell something? And you're talking only to hosts and panelists. Share it with the group. Every time I respond to the people that are like DMing us, it's like I'm having little secret conversations.
Yeah.
So wait, but TradingView comes with the platform. Is it a pro subscription? Guys, this is the TradingView chart right here. This is what I just used to do the magic thing. There's a TradingView chart. And then when you're on, that's in Pro already. And then we put Pro in Trading School, and then Trading School has the chart. That's this. This is a TradingView chart. See, it's got the TradingView logo down here. It's like TradingView Inception here, guys. It's like a Russian egg doll of TradingView. We got TradingView on TradingView.
Oh, if we can go back to the Pro, Neil, I just want to, with the chart there that you had. So, you can change the size of the 2 windows there. You can do that, Neil.
Yes.
In the middle. Okay, I just want to say something. I put in that ticket for you guys. I literally put in that ticket that you could move the one. No joke. I'm serious. Like,
you got to do it for the school still. We're just getting started with the school, but that's a good ticket, Rodrigo. Keep going. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I was just saying, like, I mean, I've actually, like, I do my best here to be the voice for you guys as traders. So, all the feedback and all that stuff, obviously senseful information. Yes, we're trying to make this the best experience for trading out there, right? I don't want you to be trading by yourself. I don't want you to be following Reddit boards. I don't want you to be doing any of that stuff. Stop buying the stocks that your Uber driver gives you. Okay. Like, I've gotten a few. Okay, Neil. But yes, it's all about having a plan and really being surrounded by a community that actually cares about your success. That's what it's about.
Yes, very, very true. Couldn't have said it better myself. And is it so? Someone's saying, is it TradingView Pro? No. It's a streamlined version of TradingView. I'll be honest with you. Like I said before, a real trader that's really looking at charts just needs price and volume. That's it. All right. Everything
RSI,
else,
the most on RSI.
at most.
chart.
I'll give you RSI. I'm using RSI. I'll give you that. The rest is training wheels. Okay. The rest is people getting like really, really into their own unique system, which you are welcome to do. But if you don't do the basics with just the price, the RSI, those sorts of things, which all comes with Benzinga Pro, it all comes with the trading school. Then all that other stuff is like way too highfalutin.
That's insane. Like the deal for today is just
multiple time frames. The deals, we're trying to hook you guys up. That's what this is about. We want more people to hang out with. So that's what we're here to do, is hook you guys up with a killer deal, screaming deal. So I mean, the link is in the chat. The link is underneath the video. On multiple time frames without swapping the window. Brad, that's a good question. So that's something we will do. So you're not talking about all the multiple indicators. You're saying you want to be able to, here, let me duplicate this. Duplicate a little magic for you. You want to be able to have multiple charts open. Yes. That doesn't need to be TradingView Pro though. That's just us building it so you can switch between viewing like 4 charts at a time in one chart. Yeah, totally.
I have a special prize for people today. Only one person will be able to get this, Neil. Okay.
Okay, what is it?
I have a beautiful.
No, don't give away the cat, Rodrigo.
Beautiful baby cat. He's
Oh
super
my God.
1 year. One person will win this beautiful cat, but it has to be done by midnight.
Oh my God.
I pulled it out. We got to do it now.
No, does a cat even have a name?
His name is Simba, and he has a sister. So, maybe we can do the other one next time. But
guys. All right, guys, if you want Simba by midnight, you got to make sure you get this screaming deal. Brad wants a cat.
It's the best friend for a trader. I'm not kidding. They're not annoying. They're super cute.
I know. I got to get me some cats. Regarding Benzinga Pro, would you say that all the key data, financial, short, et cetera, is pretty up to date? How are they updated? It's 100% real time. We have the best data on the planet. In fact, all of the data that goes into Benzinga Pro, financial short, all that kind of stuff that goes into Benzinga Pro is the same data that we distribute to other tools. Benzinga is the data hub. Y'all don't know about our B2B side of the business. All right. The brokerages and the tools subscribe to Benzinga for that data. That's everybody looking at earnings data, all that kind of stuff. We roll the nickels in that territory. And then when you're using Benzinga Pro, you're getting that pure distilled real-time feed in Benzinga Pro. Trading school number, I don't know how many we have now, but we're going to have to cap it pretty soon. SK is really worried about the cats. Well, SK, if you want to save the cat, you're going to have to get into Benzinga Trading School.
Hashtag save the cat. All right.
Hashtag save Simba.
And tag Benzinga.
Yeah. Robert, why are you responding? Robert, you're in Zoom and you're responding only to hosts and panels. Share it with everyone. Robert says that's a fact. You also have the best news I've heard. Yes, Benzinga news is designed to be. How do you get the deal again? Romulo.
Post the link now. 1 second.
Okay, thanks, Rodrigo. What's it? Oh. The best news. So Benzinga news, if you go to benzinga.com, our news is meant for traders. So a lot, like if you look at like CNBC.com or other big outlets like Wall Street Journal, they write articles so that they continue getting views over time, over many days and weeks. That's how they maintain their advertising revenue. You go to the website, you read the article, people share it, and the article is good and valuable for several days. It's better for investors or people that are not really involved in the market. We don't do that. Our articles have a shelf life of like a day max. All right. And then down to like an hour to a minute. We are publishing news that matters to retail traders. That's why we're different. All right. But no, ain't nobody out there that's hanging their hat 100% committing to writing news for retail traders. That's why. All right. We take a risk, but that's why. So that's why the newsfeed in Benzinga Pro is so good, because you get those Benzinga exclusives. Just found the button. What is the difference risk tolerance of the mentors? How do you guys address small caps during the day? Are we just swapping tickers like madmen? No, Brad, we're not swapping tickers like madmen. Like I said, I trade the same like basket of like 4 stocks and then maybe like 4 ETFs. And it's all dependent on what's happening. Markets are seasonal and cyclical and go through trends and patterns. So Rodrigo he has a really solid thesis on a firm. That's the soup of the day. So Rodrigo, me, other people will be trading a firm because that's what's in play. We'll all be doing a similar thing, but doing different stuff with it. Like I have certain patterns and certain entries that I'm very comfortable with that I take that are probably different from Rodrigo. You just saw actually when I was sharing the Benzinga Pro chart for a firm, Rodrigo, you and I have completely different ways of looking at the chart. And it works totally for both different. Of us.
Yeah, I mean, we can look at it in a different way, but I think in the fundamentals, we kind of see the same thing, you know?
Yes. Yeah. We understand the story. Is there potential for this company's revenue to grow? How does it fit into what's happening in the world? Yes, we understand that. And then if we want to look at
this was a live trade here with you guys.
And if you want to look at the financials and the income statement, yes. I mean, EBITDA.
I love that.
We've got that for every single company on here. And if you're like, if you think a firm's a good play because Apple can't monopolize how payments are made on their platform anymore. So companies are probably going to look for alternate forms of payment, such as a firm that makes it very easy to make large purchases by breaking them up. Yes, that's a story. Yes, that will continue. Yes, that's a fad that has turned into a trend that is now a real thing that is growing. I want to see similar companies to a firm. So I'm going to go to the peers tab. Oh, wait, a firm doesn't have any peers. This is a bad example. Let's do Apple.
Well, the other one, Afterpay, hasn't gone public yet, so they don't have.
Oh,
yeah, they don't really have much MasterCard announced they're going to go into buy now, pay later today. Surprisingly, the day that a firm releases their debit card details. Right, interesting.
Okay, so how do we get live trade guides from you? If you just ask nicely. That's not like a guaranteed part of the subscription. Rodrigo and I are just traders. All right. We're in the trading school. You're going to be surrounded by folks that have varying degrees of experience. When you're in Benzinga Pro, I can tell you for sure, you're going to find guys that have made people that have made a lot more money. And I have much bigger portfolios than me and Rodrigo. That chat's right here. You get that when you get the trading school. You get everyone in here. There are big names in here. You will get to know them that have great recommendations. They'll let you know what they're trading. And that's just the free community that comes with Benzinga Pro. Yep. How is the option flow swing trade for someone to trade? Can you explain the flow to enter? I'm not really sure how to answer that one. That one's not my territory. That's not my trading style, Albert. So I'm sorry, I can't answer that. You'll have to ask Mark that one. Oh, you're talking about KPRT. Do you know that one, Rodrigo?
KPRT. I have not heard of that one. I know there might be some competitors outside the US probably, but I like to stick to US companies for many reasons. I don't know if you noticed, like you remember, and this applies to other things, like let's just say as an example, right? As an example, you remember when GameStop was squeezing and there were a lot of sympathy plays? The stock that does the biggest move is the main one, not the sympathy plays. The sympathy plays are exactly what you're calling them, sympathy plays. So I like to stick to the main, to the big dog, to a firm partnership with Amazon, Apple. You can't beat that. Plus, they're very good. I've known the firm for a long time. They do work in different industries, so they have a lot more room to grow. In my opinion, they can not only go into personal lending, but they can go into like actual equipment lending. They can eventually, you'll see them get into mortgage lending. They're already doing the crypto wallet now. Sky's the limit. Fintech is the future. I've been in fintech for 10 years. I can tell you this, I knew about a firm for years and years. They weren't public though. Now that they're public, people are starting to say, oh, well, that's the future. Like if you do your research and you know, like everybody has an edge, right? So like maybe somebody here who knows about construction, your edge is knowing about excavators and backhoes, and then you buy Terex or Caterpillar or what something of that nature, right? If you're into fintech, then you probably are familiar with SoFi, with Open Door, with all these other fintech companies. So um, Lee's asking about last week's big trade. Um, the weekly calls with a firm were 130%, but the one before that, SPRT was an 11 bagger. I mean, my hand was shaking for a minute.
All right, give us a 1 in chat if you know what an 11 bagger is. Give us a 2 if you want to know. Drop it in the chat. 1 if you know what 11 bagger is. Give us a 2 if you want to know what that means. I remember this day.
Me
All right,
too.
this is an 11 bagger is one of those things that you don't go hunting for, but you take it when it comes to you. All right. Rodrigo, what is an 11 bagger?
An 11 bagger, also known as a 10D plus one, is basically when you do like 1100% on the options. So obviously this is not planned. I did not plan an 11 bagger. It just happened and I was stuck in a meme stock, which happens pretty often to me now. But like I'm buying a normal stock, trying to get fundamentals, and then suddenly it becomes a meme stock. Reddit comes along and I'm like, okay, I gotta get out. But yeah, that's what it is. It's an 1100% gain. I did it with options. I bought it when it was $16. I sold it when it was like 45. Could have been a lot higher, but at that point I was satisfied with that. Called it a day. Took a little break from trading, and then I got back in a firm, and but yeah, it's definitely not something that I'm looking for 11 baggers. But if you do know how to read charts, and if you do know how to like use options, you can leverage that momentum. That's what I'm saying. Like I trade momentum and I leverage my trade by using options. It's not always an 1100 bagger. It's sometimes it's a 50% gain. Sometimes it's a 20. Sometimes I'm down 20%. It's not always a winner, but you need to be more right than wrong in the long run. But
yep, you only need to be right 6 times out of 10 to be a successful trader. That's what it's about. Just beating that halfway mark.
Have we touched on exclusives? On Zing exclusives?
I you know what? I think we should give an example of an exclusive. What's a good one?
Okay, I got like 3. Alfie. I love that stock. That stock, like they're right here in Miami. They're doing like digital ads. If you do look at the daily chart, go way back when we did that PR. It's a great company. You see that big rip. So right there, when it was like $2, like around there, PR comes out from who? From Benzinga. We broke the news. Why do publicly traded companies release? Sorry about my cat. He's desperate to go with one of you guys. Man, this cat really makes me lose my trouble. Basically, the companies, they want to reach you. They want to reach the retail trader. They are tired of being misrepresented whenever they try to break news. So basically, the solution for them to be able to communicate with retail traders is to come through Benzinga. Basically, break the news with Benzinga. We throw the PR out. As a Benzinga Pro member, you are going to get that PR right out of the oven. The other brokerages, they kind of have to wait a little bit because there's like a data lag from our source to go to their source. But as a pro user, you get that right away, and you get that good entry as a pro user. So this one doesn't have options. Otherwise, I would have squeezed it. But this is one example. AEHR, Luke from Power Hour had this company on when it was like $2. You even have to scroll right, Neil.
Oh my God, this gap up was us.
Before that, this was gapping up. Yeah. So that's another beautiful one. And there's other companies, like these are like, I guess you could call them smaller companies, but like Chewy, BBIG. Tell me if you know BBIG. Okay. If you know BBIG, put a 1 in the chat. PR was when it was $2, Neil. $2. Imagine getting options there. Like that's.
Did you get options there? Did you trade it?
No, because I was in SPRT.
Okay. Okay. So you're doing it right, anyways.
That's the power of data. That's the power of having data and good data, right? Fast data.
Information arbitrage. That's what it's about. All right. Whoever has better information faster succeeds and wins. That's the competition of the market. Information arbitrage. So okay, guys, you got the information for Rodrigo. You got the email. You got the cell. Let me just do a little roll call. See if we got some new members of Benzinga fam here. Yes, we do.
Of course we do.
So let's go through. Welcome to the family, SSK. I'm not going to read your full thing. I just got the beginning of your email, so I'm not going to dox you. You know who you are, SSK. RTSD, welcome. BM Flaherty? I'm not good at reading some of these. Welcome to the family, guys, and congratulations. It's time to learn how to trade. It is time to get serious about trading. All right, welcome. Does Benzinga have an app? There's an app for the news, the free app. So if you just search for it on the App Store, yes, there's an app. And then the trading school, all you have to do is go to benzinga.com/school on your phone. And then it's the mobile web app. So it's a web app. So if I inspect this and then I go to the mobile view, this simulates what it looks like on a mobile device. So it changes the whole layout, right? So this is what it looks like when you're on mobile. So this is the charting screen. I want to go to live class. I'm in class. I'm watching on my phone. I'm commuting on the subway, the bus, whatever. I've got Mark up here. I got Neil backing him up. I got my chart so I can follow along. I'm using my thumbs. It's not as easy as a desktop, but it's also not that bad. I actually chart on my phone all the time, guys. I share them on Twitter. And then when I want to get into chat, I can open up my chat right here. I'm with everyone else. And someone just asked today at 5 p.m., are we live yet? Wrong channel, sorry. But that's okay, Diz. We still love you. But there you go. That's there's the mobile version. Robert, you're welcome. Thank you for being with us. Is there a get started cheat sheet setup needed for desktop and mobile? No, this is designed to be so stupid. Listen, I have put my heart and soul into designing this for you. There are some things that we are improving every single day, but we keep the Apple design ethic in mind, which is if it's designed well, it should not need an instruction manual. Okay. If it's designed well, you should know what to do by looking at it. And that's what goes into the Benzinga Trading School. So there you go. That's my answer to you, Lee. How long does it take? It takes as long as you put into it. If you absolutely speed run the course portion, you can be done with all the live lessons in about 2 weeks. And then after that, it's live trading with your group and ongoing mentorship. So how long does it take? I think the best analogy, I don't even know if this analogy is really relatable, but Mark has the analogy that it's like karate. Like you never stop getting better, which I don't know karate, guys. But you never stop training. That's the same thing with trading. That's why you don't want to leave a group of folks, and you always want to be close to people that are experienced like you are. So you don't just go off and teach yourself karate in the middle of the woods. You look like an idiot. You have a sensei and you have a group of fellow karate people, and that's what we're doing here. It's what you get once you get in the dojo, you'll know what I mean, Lee. How many hours of recorded classes from the last 2 days to catch up? So how many hours?
Like 2 or 3.
Yeah, like 2 or 3. Yeah, you can watch it. You can accelerate the speed too.
It doesn't count the office hours.
Yeah, it wouldn't count the office hours. Really, all you need to do is the lessons and just make sure you comprehend them. And if you don't comprehend them, then you can bring your questions to the live Q&A, and then we're there to catch you up. That's our job. Shelly is coming at me on YouTube for claiming that I was a red belt. I'm a red belt. Excuse me, Shelly. I am a senior red belt. So that's the red belt with the black stripe on it in Taekwondo. Thank you. I have not lied.
I got a special deal for tonight.
What do you got?
We talked about one cat earlier. If you stayed long enough, we are going to do the 2 cats. No! Okay. So we're doing 2 cats now.
Oh my God. He's a madman. Can someone please stop him? Can someone please stop him? Cats. Hashtag save the cats. So guys, we need hashtag save the cats in here, guys.
Join Benzinga, save the cats.
Oh my God. Can you ship a cat? I think you gotta be able to put it in, I think you can. Welcome to the school. Welcome to the family. A Baldwin. Welcome. Alec Baldwin has just joined the school, everybody. Just kidding. There's A Baldwin is the
We had Nicki Minaj the other day. Shout out, Nicki.
Yeah. Nicki Minaj has been showing up a lot. All right. Awesome, Brian. We're looking forward to having you. We'll see you bright and early. I'll see you there. 7 a.m. Can I use more than one card to charge the fees? Contact Rodrigo. There you go. His information's in there. That was from YouTube. There you go. I'll drop the link in again too. Boom. There you go. Any questions, guys? Questions about the school, about the platform, about the content, about what you can expect to learn, about where you're at today, anything about the cats? I know that some of you guys are still here, so you guys must be interested in something.
They're trying to see if there's a third cat, Neil, but there's no third cat. That's all. There's no more cats, guys. I'll need to get more. I got some here, right? I just go to the street, put a bottle of milk in. I can get you cats. I can get cats. Do you want a cat part of the deal? We'll make it happen.
If you, Rodrigo, I'm gonna have to step in as your friend and tell you that you might be getting too many cats.
I'm one of those.
I think you want to stop while you're ahead.
Okay.
Setting a 2-cat limit. All right. So the movers post market. Okay. So what do you want to see here? You want to look at Benzinga Pro? You want to look at movers? Movers is a very simple tool. And this is based on percentage or actual points change after hours. No one else has this data after hours and pre-market. People love us. Like real pro traders have been with us since day one. Numero uno for the pre-market data.
Hey,
getting those movers in early in the morning is very good. What?
Neil, Benzinga just tweeted, take a look inside Benzinga Trading School. Special offer tonight only. Cat may be included. Hashtag save the cat.
Who's on that Twitter account? Who's managing that Twitter account?
I don't know if it's Wise or Harvey. I don't know.
All right, I guess it's committed. It's written in stone, guys. The William is asking, the school includes Benzinga Pro for the year. Benzinga Pro is included with the school. As long as you're subscribed to the school, Benzinga Pro is part of it. It's just one of the tools in the school. William over on YouTube. 2 cats and a chicken and you have a deal. I don't know about the chicken. You want a live chicken? Zero experience here, but highly motivated. Is this too advanced for me? No, this is perfect for you. The motivation is 90 cents on your dollar. The interest and the drive is what's going to make you a good learner. All right. So if you're ready to start learning, join now. This is for you, Romulo. This is designed for right where you are. This is what I wish existed years ago when I was playing stupid games with stocks and not getting anywhere. Zero experience, but highly motivated. Get into Benzinga Trading School. It's made for you. Learn to trade. You're welcome, William. And Shelly, I agree. Alyssa is the best. She's very good with our social media. Swag.
Can we do it?
I think it's October. I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble. Rodrigo's trying to give away stuff. Which I just next month, maybe. Benzinga Pro, the essential. We've given away too much. All right, guys, we got in trouble for giving away too much swag. All right, if you want the full story, we got in trouble for giving away too much swag. We were told to slow down on it. Rodrigo and I get to having a little bit too much fun on the live streams. And then we turn out clothing half of the Eastern Coast and the West Coast when you guys all show up late in the day. You guys are all kitted top to bottom with Benzinga stuff, and then we get in trouble. But we love doing it. And Brad says, damn, all right. And we get a 7-day money back guarantee. Yeah, Brad. Absolutely. Romulo, currently on trading stupid stocks level. Yeah, this is the perfect learn to trade. Join Benzinga Trading School.
I love this one.
Lee, can I read this out loud? Okay, so I'm just gonna read the first part. Lee has a message that was just the host and the panelist. You two have definitely sold me, even though I hate cats. Hey, listen, Lee, there's plenty of fellow cat haters in here. We are a diverse community. Rodrigo doesn't know how to feel right now. He's dealing with that right now. But you are welcome. Yeah, so get in there. I'll see you in the morning, Lee. I will see you in the morning. Excuse me. I'm not sure how to say your name, but you just message. I will message you directly back. As always, the answer to your question is contact Rodrigo, my friend.
It's usually the answer for a lot of these questions, guys. You see, like I've been on both sides of the coin. Like as a trader, I've gone through what you guys are going through, right? Like trying to find the right brokerage, trying to find the best indicators, thinking that an indicator is going to give you the holy grail. Like you're gonna like, just somebody needs to break it to you. Like Mark already did. He told you there's no holy grail. So definitely, the research, the tools, the analysis, all that stuff, definitely important, guys.
Yeah, and to clarify for anyone that's worried, I like cats. I'm a cat guy. Just for clarity there for anyone that was wondering. How do you decide?
Thank you.
How do you decide what to teach each day if everyone is interested in different types of trading? That's what the syllabus is about, baby. Let me give you that syllabus back up. That's why we've structured it. All right. We don't want you running around like cats in an open field full of catnip, because that's what it's like when you don't have a trading school and you're on the internet and you're getting alerts from everybody on all kinds of different places. All right. We want you to be like little choo-choo trains. All right. Little choo-choo trains on rails. All right. That are designed thoughtfully and carefully for you to get from destination A to B. All right. And you got to load up your little caboose with gold if you really want to follow that analogy all the way to completion, which thank you for bearing with me on that analogy. This is the syllabus. It's 8 pillar classes that rotate, meaning that once we get done with class 8, we start back over and we go back to class 1 so that you may attend to infinity, because the principles always stay the same. These are the same principles that mattered in the 1930s. All right. When Charles Dow was mapping out how markets work and how to enter and exit stocks and how to predict what would happen. These are the same principles, but with new fancy data tools that we're giving you access to. All right. The principles have not changed. The only thing that changes is the cycles that the market is in. All right. So we stay on these pillars, we stand on these pillars, we trade off of these pillars, and we apply them to the different market as it evolves. Timeless lessons, timeless concepts, dynamic markets. All right. No pre-recorded course is going to do that for you. All right. Go ahead. Spend $99, whatever. Go to Udemy right now. It might be more. I don't know. Get one of those courses. Report back to me. If you become a pro trader after taking one of those pre-recorded courses, I'll pay for it. All right. Just show me your P&L sheet. Show me your wins and losses.
The issue, Neil, is like really the 2020 market spoiled a lot of traders. It made them feel like professionals just because everything was going up. And all of those, like 90% of those traders are already out of the market, washed out in 2021. Yep. So, and it's not that I enjoy saying that, of course not, but we need to acknowledge that, just because we were like in 2020, that's not going to happen again. Like something really catastrophic to the world happened. So those things are not very, very often. And everybody made money on the bounce. Even my grandmother bought stocks. Like she's banking on those. So like at this point, you really need to know what you're doing, because what worked in 2020 is definitely not working today. Look at the EV stocks.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm just answering a question in chat. William is asking, would you recommend that I cancel any other chat rooms, Twitters, etc., and focus only on Benzinga? Seems like a lot of opinions, gets overwhelming, and that you just need one source of inputs. And what I'm saying is, hey, I don't care if you guys join us I don't care if you join someone else or in some other thing out there. I just care that you guys have a structured, reliable, trustworthy program that you're getting into that's going to actually make you improve. And if you find that elsewhere, go do it. All right. There's just the market is very attractive because it's awesome to me. Like I see it as like this magical thing that can be used to make money just by pushing buttons on my phone, which is a gross oversimplification. And it can also be, you can also lose money. And I've done this. But I want people to not get all excited about the stock market and then get in and then get absolutely whipsawed and ruined. All right. So that's why we saw the need. Benzinga is in a good position to put together something good for you guys to set you up right so that you guys can come out correctly. And William, yeah, if you've got something else, I'm not here to tell you to cancel it. Maybe it all works together for you. Maybe more than one thing is good for you. It's different for everybody.
Yeah. If I can add there, Neil, back before, like Rodrigo before Pro, I had about 30 tabs open on my browser. My computer was crashing. I had to go to this website to find insider buying. I had to go to the other one to find institutional buying and selling. I had to go to the other place to find short float, which is outdated by 15 days. I had to go to another place to look at a chart. I had to go to another place to look at the news. I had like 15, 20 tabs just to do a simple, research on a stock. With Pro, I do it in, no joke, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Time is money. Time is more important than money. So you getting a better entry, you tell me an extra 10, 15, 20%. I mean, I don't know how to quantify it, but you get where I'm trying to get at. The faster you're able to process the data, right? Because you get excess data in today's market. Robinhood here, TikTok over there, Reddit over there, CNBC here. You need to focus, right? Focus. And for that, you need the tools for that. In Benzinga Pro, you filter this to what you want to trade, not what CNBC wants to throw at you. And that's the beauty of it. You being able to filter your own stocks. Don't follow the crowd. Follow the research. Follow the analysis.
Absolutely. And I think I know who this is. I see him just coming in. And I just want to say, Romulo, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Really glad to have you. We will see you in the morning at class. Welcome. It's time to start trading. So, and then a question here from Nav, would you cover options trading? Absolutely. Yes. This morning we actually talked about it. I think we talked about it during this session too, briefly, which was buying puts. And I'm not sure, I think it was Apple. And Mark basically has a lower target. Mark is bearish short-term on Apple in the way that you would make money from Apple going down is with a put contract. There are many ways using options trade, like different types of options trades to make money on a stock going down. But that is the simplest and most beginner understandable. There's more risk than doing something that is what you would call a spread or a multi-leg options trade. But yes, we cover options. And I'll tell you right now, Nav, my options trading is not super complex. I do spreads every now and again. I take spreads from our colleague Nick Shaheen's ideas, but most of the time I'm sticking to my stocks, and I'm holding them for longer term swings or investments. And then when they're going up and down, I'm getting extra juice out of them, extra cha-cha, as I like to call it, out of them, using options, so that when they make those 1% and 2% moves, like every couple days, I'm getting more money out of that. And then also if I'm holding something for a swing and I know that it's hitting resistance, I'm fine holding it, and then also shorting it at the same time so I can make some money with a put. Nav, yeah, I mean everyone's interested in options. Honestly, options are amazing, but they can be dangerous. And here's what I'll say is, like, they don't have to be overly complex. You can make options much more difficult than they actually need to be. You can trade options without understanding how they work. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you can drive a car without Rodrigo, you can't. You can drive a car without knowing how the engine works. All right, you can drive a car without knowing how a combustion engine works and how the exhaust and how the muffler makes your. I don't know anything about cars, but I know how to drive a car. All right. That's the same thing with options. All right. I know what they do when I use them. And I don't know all of the underlying like the Greeks and all that kind of stuff. And then Nick Shaheen, our options expert, would say, don't kill yourself learning all the Greeks. All right. The Greeks are just fancy Wall Street terms for very simple concepts that are just applied by academics to, I don't know, perhaps make them seem more special than they actually are. Whoa, damn, William's got a big portfolio. Let's go.
That's when you need to apply the discipline. Like that's when the bigger your account, the more careful you need to be. More because you're not risking $500. You're risking a lot more. So
Yep. Those little dips hurt a lot more. It's a lot of much bigger, more zeros on your screen. Yeah, William, discipline's the number one thing. So the first thing that we're doing here every day in every single lesson, every single thing that we do is protecting capital. All right. I don't like to lose money logically. I don't like to lose money emotionally. When I lose money because I was not paying attention, or I lose money because I traded outside, I overtraded, and then I see that on my portfolio, it ruins my day. It makes me not a happy guy, and I don't like going through that. So that is what drives me to have discipline, and then build that muscle memory and build it into practice. Check all the boxes, even though it might seem boring. Money is boring. Wealth is boring. True wealth. All right. It can be exciting at times. You get those 11 baggers at times, all that kind of stuff. But making income from trading is a job. All right. And no one gets hired unless they're consistent and dependable. I don't want you running around hooting and hollering if I'm going to hire you. I want you to be consistent and dependable. That's what makes income. Yeah, Kylo, call Rodrigo for sure. Them bags get you every time. Yeah, William Shelley has made a comment that said you might also want to try to make a separate account. Nothing wrong with having a separate account that's more for YOLO trades, as we like to call them. When you've got that much in your portfolio, you can have multiple accounts for different types of trading. I know a few money managers actually that really recommend that. Like they have accounts that are for specific spaces. Like they have an account that's just disruptive technology, and it's for longer holds. And they do the same thing I do, which is collecting extra income by trading options on those holdings. So there's so many ways to skin a cat, guys. There's so many ways to make money in the markets. What we're trying to do is just bring you focus and a plan and guidance and a community that's going to understand you when you talk to them, and be on your level. And if you want people that are on your level, and you want to get disciplined, and you want to learn to trade in a way that's actually going to generate income, give me a 1 in the chat. For those of you that are still here with us, give me a 1 in the chat if you want that.
Shout out T, just joining, by the way.
T, welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Yeah. So thank you. We're getting a lot of 1s in the chat. So yeah, if you're really serious, I can tell you what, you can lose a lot more on a stupid trade than you can lose on a subscription to Benzinga Trading School. What's a better investment? That's what I'll leave you on, guys. I'm Neil Hamilton. It's been a blast being with you. I'll take any absolute final questions. Otherwise, Rodrigo, do you have any remarks for our folks that have not yet joined the trading school?
Yes, guys. My first thing I want to say is congratulations for staying here with us and taking your education seriously. We can do our best to give you the best of the best, like Mark Putrino, from the highest level of institutions, highest performers. We can put the best coders in a room and get you the best application. We can give you all of these tools, but we also have to keep in mind that the willingness to learn, it's a skill set. Not everybody likes learning. Some people, they settle, and if you really are trading to really get ahead in whatever it is that you're doing, or have an end goal, you need to take it seriously, right? Because if you really want something that bad, you really have to want it bad, right? And you can't just say you want it, you have to prove it. How do you prove it? Well, consistency, which means that you have to consistently, go to the classes and take notes
Yeah.
and participate, be an actual student. Don't just be a painting on the wall. Like, ask questions and interact with the other members. You can build like community studying groups there as well. And ultimately it comes down to you. Like, we can give you all the best tools and the best stuff, but if you guys don't get the juice out of it, it's not going to have as much value probably. So like, if somebody's really active, asking questions to Mark, paying attention in classes, taking notes, going to office hours, all this stuff, obviously that person will get more out of it than somebody who's not. So we're giving you guys all this great education because we want you guys to learn. We want you guys to make educated trades. We want you to make educated financial decisions. We know that the stock market is naturally rigged against retail traders like you and me. So we have to take even more precaution, and we need to take a couple steps back and have a process, right? And enjoy the learning process. It's for a full year, literally 4 semesters. Like, you got the whole year to get with Mark and really get everything closed up, right? Close any loose ends. Even if you're advanced or a beginner, I guarantee you don't know how they do things at billion-dollar hedge funds. I promise you that. So we can always learn from other people. We should never feel that we already know everything. That's not a good like mental state to be. You always need to have like an open mind, like a sponge, really, and absorb the knowledge from whoever really you think can benefit you from. I've learned a lot from Mark. As far as like reading charts, that has helped me individually as a stock trader and as an options trader. And here and there on the weekends, I do swing a little crypto, but yeah, you can apply this. You can apply this to anything, any asset category. And ultimately, you need to get to know yourself as a trader, right? You'll sometimes try to figure out like, what am I? Am I a scalper? Do I buy and hold? Do I buy the top? Like, what is it that like your style that fits your personality, that fits your risk profile? Get to know yourself as a trader, because trading, you will go through some emotional roller coasters at one point. So the better you're able to know yourself, the better you're able to have a strategy and a plan, the easier it's going to be for you to trade. And this is not a sprint, guys. This is a marathon. And you're not just here for a lotto ticket and dipping out. Like, you're really trying to make income. You're really trying to make revenue with this. So take it seriously, right? You wouldn't start a business and really aim to be lazy, right? Like, why would you even try? So if you're gonna try and you have all the great tools, you have a great deal, you have Mark, the chat room with him and everything, you might as well go all in. You might as well give it everything you got to learn and make this the best experience for you to learn how to trade. Because I promise you, everything else that's out there, it's no bueno. I've tried it. So from one trader to another, I really wish all you guys the best success when it comes to trading. That's what we all do here at Benzinga. We are for retail. We're by retail, for retail. We care about you. Ultimately, this presentation that we're doing here, this workshop, it's not for hedge funds. This is for you guys, for retail traders, right? For Christopher, for T, for Nalicia, for William, for Chef Ramy. So all you guys here, I just want to appreciate all the willingness you guys have to learn. It means a lot, because ultimately, from experience, I can tell you, you need to be in that mindset. You need to be locked in to the mindset that you want to be successful at this, and just follow the steps, right? Follow the process, right? You have classes literally Monday to Friday. That's a lot for the whole year. So just want to make sure that you guys take as much advantage as you can of Mark Putrino, of the education, of the platform, because it is going to benefit you. And if I can save one person, at least one person here, from blowing up their account, that's good enough for me, right? Nobody saved me from blowing up my account but myself. It happened to me twice. So if we're reaching out here to somebody who's probably been in that situation, and you don't know why this keeps happening, why you just can't be in the green, why everything's just not working out in trading, sometimes you really need to find like professional help. And I don't mean Reddit boards. I mean following somebody who's a verified chartered market technician, certified for 20 plus years, right? Like, this is where the people that invented all the beautiful, nice little indicators you have, made up by CMTs, also somebody who's got experience managing over $1 billion in a fund. So take advantage of this, you guys. I promise you, like as somebody who knows people in Wall Street, Mark Putrino is somebody you definitely want to be associated with, and you really want to learn from him if you have the opportunity, like you do today.
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
All right, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. Final chance. This does expire at midnight. Those of you, like if you haven't checked, just click the link. You'll see a countdown timer. So there you go. Thank you guys very, very much. Rodrigo, I think closes very well, so I'm not going to say much more. If you have questions, get at Rodrigo. You've got his information. If you don't got it by now, look at the check because I'm about to close it. All right. And those of you that joined us, let's learn to trade so we can start making money. I will see you in class in the morning. We will get serious and we will get better every day. Thank you. Hashtag save the cats.